Guys, new Trash Taste merch is available right now. This is not a drill.
God!
Check this shit out.
God!
Yes!
Connor's got more drip! Connor's got more drip! I'm so happy!
I have new clothes, finally!
I am practically coming.
And you will be too when you get your hands on this Trash Taste merch.
Guys, check out this design. Look at this.
Oh, diddly.
I'm shitting
God.
myself in excitement right now. Look at that.
Ooh.
Look at my design as well. Look at this shit. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Woo! And of course, don't forget about our brand new sweater as well. Look at this shit.
Look at that.
It's beautiful.
That
you
is
know
beautiful.
this bad boy is gonna last.
But, ladies and gentlemen, be warned. You only have 3 weeks as of today
3
to
weeks.
get your hands on it. 3
Now-
whole weeks. That's not a lot of time.
Now you know how many people missed out on our last drop, and you don't want to miss out on this one, guys.
So what are you waiting for? Smash that link in the description down below to get your Trash Taste merch today.
We're back, baby.
Wake up! Grab us with a little makeup!
All right, guys. So when I say the One Piece,
No.
you say is real.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast. It's me, Joey, and I'm with Garnt and Connor, as always, and we are back.
Hey, we are
Although
back in Japan.
It's probably not going to feel like that because the episodes have been coming out as...
No, for you guys, it's been one episode per week, as per usual. For us, it has been over 2 months.
So this is
Yes.
the first Trash Taste time skip. I'm joking.
It is the Trash Taste time skip. We've gone through our America arc that hasn't aired yet.
I mean,
so-
we all got haircuts. I've noticed.
Actually, I haven't yet.
Oh, you haven't yet?
I
haven't yet.
desperately needed that.
Yeah,
quite
same.
frankly. But,
Same.
gentlemen, I had the worst taxi ride of my life.
Oh, we're just going to get
God.
straight
I'm
into
gonna
it?
get right.
Go straight
It's
into
like we
it.
never left, Connor.
I was, okay, so I'll lay the scene for you, right? So I
right.
have a shoot at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Right? So I got to be there a little bit early, right? I'm trying to get there 1:15. But
Yeah.
I'm like, if
Yeah.
I get there 1:05, 1:10, I'll just get a coffee somewhere nearby.
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
chill out. So I schedule my taxi, right? Schedule, if I'm super British.
Schedule.
So I schedule it, right? So that I can get there at latest 1:15.
Yeah.
Give me a 15-minute buffer, trying to be professional, trying to be great. So I call this taxi, right? And it's like a Japanese kind of Uber version app, and it normally takes at most 15 minutes. So I schedule
Go taxi or whatever it is.
DD or something.
DD,
It's a
it's
Chinese
DD,
version.
right?
I don't
Yeah,
fucking
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
Point is that I'm like buffering on buffers, right? So I call the cab at 12:30. It's a 20-minute journey, so I have plenty of time. If it's like the maximum, I might even get there completely far too early, right?
Yeah.
So I get the app and I call the taxi and boom, at 12:30 I have a taxi driver who's arriving in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a 20-minute journey. So the taxi should arrive at 12:45 and then I'll get there at 1:05. Right?
Yeah.
A little bit early, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So I have 15 minutes. So I go and brush my teeth. I go and start getting ready, and I go and check my phone 10 minutes later, and he hasn't moved. It's still 15 minutes away, and I can see that he's been going up and down this one road, and I'm like, I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's fine. I'm
Just,
sure
just
it's-
the app glitching.
Listen,
out.
I'm sure, he just got a little lost on this one road. It's a main
Yeah.
road. Maybe you just couldn't get off it, right? It's no big deal.
Sure.
I should have cancelled right then and there. I most certainly should have, and I so regret it.
Right.
I had the thought in my head of, I'm sure this is nothing.
Right.
And I should have listened to myself and realized this was a sign of things to come. So to get to my where I am, there's a series of like one-way roads that are a bit confusing, and they have to enter at this certain point. And
Yeah.
If they don't enter at this certain point, it's like it adds 5 to 10 minutes of fuckery to try and get back to where I am.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's coming up to it, and I'm waiting outside. And if he gets this turn, he comes to me. I'm ready to go. Of course, he fucking misses it. Just
course.
goes right past it, even
Yep.
though the navigation tells him where to go. And I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Okay,
It's almost like GPSs were invented for a reason.
I know. There are a lot. To be fair, there are a lot of taxi drivers in Japan who take GPS as a suggestion.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. It's happened before. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
He'll circle around. He'll come, but it adds 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So again, he's already 10 minutes later than he was supposed to be, and now it's 5 minutes. So what he should have been here 15 minutes, now it's 30. So and now I'll just about be on time. So he finally gets here, and I understand sometimes they can't find the exact location where you tell them to pick you up from. Motherfucker didn't even try. He was like 3 blocks away and then pressed the I'm here button. So then I had 5 minutes to get to him.
Right.
Otherwise it cancels it or charges me money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm rushing to get to him. And then I finally get to the car with like 1 minute remaining on this timer. Otherwise my journey gets canceled and I get charged money.
Yeah.
And he's not even in the fucking car. He's like gone somewhere. So I'm
Is he like taking a smoke break or something? Or
I'm
what?
looking around like, where is this guy?
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there, and then finally he comes, and he obviously realized that he fucked up. So
Yeah.
he was around looking for me, and I'm like, just wait in the cab. I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, it's a bit weird, a little uncomfortable, and I've got a shoot to be to, and I this is a very precisely timed thing that I can't miss. And like,
Yeah.
we
Booked and
have-
everything, right?
We have
Yeah.
1 hour,
Yeah.
and everyone's waiting on me. And like the venue that we're filming at is going to open at 3, so we
Yeah.
only have that 1 hour window to film.
Sure.
So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. I'll be on time. This is weird. And so I get in the car. And this is when I started to get worried. He kind of just sits in the driver's seat for about 30 seconds. And he goes, oh, where are you going? I was like, what?
Okay.
What do you mean, where am I going? I'm like, it's on the app. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I pull out my phone. I'm like, it's on the app. The
Yeah.
one I ordered you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy wasn't a normal taxi driver because he didn't have, in Japan, if you're a taxi driver, there's got to be a bunch of identification
Yeah.
and stuff on the window to kind of let you know who's driving you
Yeah.
and what company they work for in case you have a complaint or something. He didn't have any of that. So it was clearly a private hire only.
Right.
So this guy only works through this app. And maybe he's new or something, or I don't know. And I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, look at the app. I said, use the navigation on the app, please.
Right.
And he
You're
just,
telling him how to do his job.
yeah, he goes, where do we go? And then to be fair, a lot of the taxi drivers like to clarify that you put the right address
Yeah,
in.
of
Yeah,
course.
Because
of
I've had
course.
it where I've put it in wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll correct him. And I'll be like, oh, actually, no, it's here.
But
Yeah.
this didn't seem like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm like, show him the phone. I'm like, oh, this navigation, please use this one.
Right.
And so he grabs my phone, even though he has it on an iPad right here that is much bigger than my phone, and starts frantically zooming in on where I told him to go.
Right.
And I'm telling him, I'm like, oh no, that's not going to help you because I'm in it's in like a really weird alleyway and
Right.
Yeah.
it's like it's not going to help you. And so he's looking at it, frantically zooming in, and he's like, yeah, I don't know where this is. I'm like, well, that's why you listen to the app.
That's why there's a GPS telling you where to go.
Right. And I'm being polite about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, this is whatever. I'm being quite quiet. I just kept telling him, like, can you please use the app? Can you please use the app navigation? And so then he's trying to read the address on the thing, and it's because it's in English.
Yeah.
I'm like, I tell him the address.
Yeah.
And so now he starts putting it in, and I'm like, I remind him, like, you can just use the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use the app. Like, it's right. Like, it tells you where to go. And he put the address in, but put it in wrong. I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's not where I'm going. This is the address. Oh my. I'm trying to kind of talk him through this.
Yeah.
And he finally gets the address, right? And then he puts it in on his iPhone. And it was really odd because I was trying to speak to him in Japanese, but he clearly didn't speak much Japanese either.
Okay.
I think he was Chinese.
Right.
Because
Right.
I heard his iPhone telling him his stuff. It was
Right.
really confusing.
Right.
And I was like, whatever. Well, I mean, we're both trying to figure out a halfway language here to communicate this.
Right.
And so he finally starts the car and he's put the navigation in. And now I'm going to be just on time if things go right.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's been taking so long to get started in this car that a giant truck has parked in front of us and there's a car behind us. And this guy's clearly not confident enough to get out of this parallel park situation. So he just kind of sits there for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I'll drive. Fuck it, just get me. I'll get it. Like, I'll do it. So waiting for 5 minutes to get out, to wait for one of these guys to move. Like he could have, if he wanted to, and he wanted to be fast about it, he could have asked the guy in front to just move up a little bit, but I think he was a bit nervous. He seemed really nervous throughout the whole thing. And so finally the car behind us moves and now he has to reverse. And for some reason, this is like a hard task. He can't reverse the car. It's just not happening. And I'm sitting there awkwardly listening to this beep, beep, and we're just not moving.
Okay.
And he's looking behind, look at the screen, looking behind for about the most awkward 2 minutes of my life.
Right.
Right.
Where he keeps looking behind and not moving.
Right.
And then he goes, restarts the car. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Did he literally just do a turn it off and on again?
so he restarts the car
Right.
And then now we reverse. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So we start driving. And I shoot you not, we're driving about 30 seconds. And he's fiddling with something on the iPad. So what's he doing? He's looking at this iPad nonstop.
Right.
And suddenly I get a notification on my phone. Your ride has ended.
What?
What?
Did he just give up?
I think he accidentally pressed end ride.
Right.
And now I'm like, what happens now? Because he just started driving.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, and so he starts driving, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be late or
Where's
what.
he going
Like,
now?
yeah, I'm like, does he need? So he has the navigation in his phone,
Right.
But I'm like worried now.
But
like,
he ended the ride on Uber. Right?
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what happens now? Like, I didn't know what to do, and I was trying to figure out what I should
It's like
do.
drives home.
Yeah, and so I was thinking like, man, what should I do? Should I just like let him keep driving, or should I ask him to stop at some point? Like, because I've already been charged.
Yeah.
like the full amount of the trip is like it's prepaid.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
So I've already been charged for it all.
So he has to take you there.
Yeah, but he on his thing it'll say that like he didn't take me there. So it's really like I'm just unsure what to do because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, okay, fuck it. I'm sure he'll get me there and this won't be a problem.
Yeah.
I should have got the fuck out of the car, right? So right to leave my house, there's like, you can go straight and it'll turn around and there's a right turn you can do, a left turn you can do right away.
Yeah.
And he has to just go straight, right? And of course, he just immediately turns. And I'm like, no, even though the sat nav is telling him to just go straight, he just ignores it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, this is going to keep happening, isn't it? And I shit you not, every single turn he ignored.
Okay.
Every single one. And then right as we're pulling out of my place to go onto a main road, he nearly hits a car. Like straight up, like this car's going really fast and he's just going into traffic. And I'm like, get me out of this. And I'm genuinely like fearing for my life now. This guy can't listen to the sat nav. He seems to be fucking up everything.
Yeah.
And
Can't reverse.
Can't reverse. Nearly driving into traffic, and he refuses to listen to his own navigation.
Okay.
And it is stressing me out because now I see that every single turn he misses, 2 minutes adds up.
Right,
3 minutes,
right.
4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There was one point where he just had to keep going straight, and he just decided to turn and then realized he fucked up and added on 5 minutes trying to do a U-turn. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna
But like, what, why though? Like,
I don't know.
Did he think he was like, oh, I'll take this foreigner on a scenic route?
I was trying to figure out on like what this guy's MO was.
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't get any more money for doing this,
Yeah.
right? So there's no benefit to him for extending the journey.
Right.
And it seemed as if he would only take turns, from what I noticed, if they were like clean corner turns.
Right,
Like
right.
if he had to go into traffic to do wide turns, he wouldn't take it. He would ignore it.
Right.
And I was like, should you? What?
Does he have a driver's license?
Yeah. I was
kind of sounding like he doesn't have a driver's
stuff
license.
was running through my mind, right? And so
He's like Zoolander's like, I can only turn
he would only do. It's literally like Zoolander. He would only do if you're in America, like the right turns that
Yeah,
were
the
really
short
safe and
turns.
easy.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do any turns that were wide and kind of into traffic. Which is making me like, I'm like, oh my god, this guy is like. So instead of just going straight to my destination on a map, he's doing like this.
Right.
He's only doing like back alleys and small turns.
Right.
And at one point, he realizes, right, that the ride has been ended.
Right.
And so he keeps fiddling with the iPad, looking at it, but he's driving the whole time. And it's on his chair on the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's looking at something on the dashboard like this. He's like this.
Oh my god.
And at multiple points, we were like in full-on moving traffic, and he was like this.
Yeah.
And I politely asked him, I was like, hey, could you look at the road?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is bad. Like at one point, it was like the traffic had backed up. So we weren't near the lights. We were in the middle of the road. There was a lot of traffic. And all the cars started going. And for about 5 seconds, he was still looking at the iPad. And I had to be like, excuse me, you got to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, sorry. And it was this whole awkward mess where everything he could have possibly done wrong, he did wrong. Everything.
And this was supposed to be a taxi ride that went on for how long?
It was a 20-minute ride, and
Yeah.
the taxi ride itself, not including all the fuckery that happened before, ended up being 50 minutes. So from 20 minutes to 50 minutes, because he just kept taking all the wrong turns.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Might
at
as
the-
well have just walked there.
Yeah.
yeah, honestly. And at the end of it, I was just like dreading that he was gonna be like, "Hey, the ride ended. Are we gonna have to fix this payment issue?" And I was just like, the whole time I was like, "Please, just let me out of this taxi and don't keep me in here and talking to me." I was just terrified that I was gonna have to like have a confrontation with him about it because I just didn't want to. Obviously, because I had shit to do. I wanted to go, and luckily we finally got there. And he was the one time he was going to listen to the navigation was when it was actually going to be less efficient for my journey. And I was like, no, just keep going straight, please. And it was right as we were getting to the end. And thank God he listened and he let me out. And that was the end of it. But oh my God, I was so stressed because I was late to my shoot by 20 minutes at that point.
Yeah.
And I had to like just fumble my way into it and get started right away.
Right.
And it was just, bro,
damn
nightmare. And I hate rating people poorly on these apps because you know, I'm like, maybe it's just a one-off. Maybe it is. Right? Maybe it's just
This
a bad
didn't
day.
sound like it was a one-off.
No.
But it sounded like this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, afterwards I was like, no, I can't. There's no excuse in my mind that can justify how much this guy fucked everything up.
I mean, if you told me he was an alien who just landed on Earth yesterday, I would believe it. With that amount of fuckery.
And so the whole ride in the day, I was just trying to figure out like, what was that dude's deal? Like, what was up with that?
Jesus
like, I just never.
I've been in a couple of taxi rides where it's usually because Japanese
fuck up one or two
taxi.
things.
Yeah.
Japanese taxi. It's usually like an older gentleman, who is like very much like anti-technology, and he's like, no. I've lived in this area for 60 years. I know the roads better than any sat nav. And then, they clearly miss a very simple turn. Just from spite. But like that didn't seem like that.
Yeah, it seemed like I don't know if he just moved here recently or something and he wasn't familiar with the roads and maybe he was scared of using them and he might have just started. But either way, you shouldn't be driving taxis if you're scared of the roads.
No.
There's a minimum requirement to a job of just being a taxi driver, even if it is kind of like, I don't know, because it's kind of like the app is kind of like Uber, but I don't know what their requirements for fucking...
Clearly none.
Yeah.
I know that it's, becoming a taxi driver in Japan is not hard. But I mean, it's not hard really anywhere.
You live long enough to see yourself retired or being a taxi driver.
I'm just saying, the borders are open now, right? Is this the kind of fuckery we're going to see?
I don't know. I felt...
Not to blame the foreigners.
in some parts I felt bad for the guy because he clearly seemed like he was overwhelmed, and I hate piling on shit to people who already look like they're not handling stuff well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like there's
a limit.
Yeah, there's a limit to what I think is like you should just not be doing this.
Yeah.
Like
and also, your life is in his hands.
Yeah, the moment he nearly crashed is when I was kind of like, all right, this is too much now.
Yeah.
Like this is like you're actively like a danger.
Yeah.
Not only are you awful at this job from an efficiency standpoint, you are actively like harmful. Like,
damn. We haven't been back in Japan for a while, and it seems like you've already gone into some like fuckery.
Yeah. I mean, because sometimes in Japan, like more often than not, public transport is quicker. But depending on where you live and how the routes are, sometimes you might have to change like 3 or 4 times for a 30-minute journey.
Yeah, of course.
And the taxi will be one ride, 15 minutes, boom, you're right there.
Yep.
And so a lot of the time, like I'll just do that because like I don't want to have to deal with all
especially if
these
it's like
changes.
15, 20 minutes away, right? Like
Yeah,
why
that's
not?
nothing.
I
That's
mean,
not a risk.
most of the time, if you go via app, that's when you like don't fuck up,
Yeah,
because
because you can time it perfectly.
Yeah, because the driver always follows the app. You
Yeah.
know, it's
For the most part.
for the most part,
A
know.
lot of the times it's very
Yeah.
common if you get in the taxi in Japan, and you've ordered it on an app, they'll
Yeah.
confirm. They'll be like, "Are you going here?" And you
Yeah.
say, "Yeah," and then
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Cool." And I get this asked quite a lot. They'll be like, "Do you want me to use the navigation in the app?" And I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
I put it in for a reason.
Yeah. It'd be like, no. I trust your wits.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because sometimes the app doesn't like include highways, and highways are tolls, and so they have to manually add the toll costs onto the price that you didn't see.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that you might not know if you're not living in Japan and using taxis often.
Yeah.
The taxis have some form of etiquette, and you mean it's a bit different from like New York and other places in the world and stuff.
But I feel if you're visiting and stuff, the train system is 99.9% foolproof. So the trip might be a little bit longer and more tedious, especially if you need to like change train stations on the way. But for the most part, it's fairly simple.
Yeah, if you need to get somewhere fast and from a location that's not a train station, taxis are like often very good at that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you don't know how to like talk to a lot of taxi drivers, I actually feel like trains are more efficient.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because taxi drivers will ask you like a
lot of
lot
questions,
if it's not like a train station or if it's not like a major
true.
monument or something.
That's the one thing I hate about catching a taxi in Japan. It's like whenever it's like I missed the last train and I gotta get a taxi home, right? And I tell him like where I need to go, and he puts it in the sat nav, and then he's like, So do you want me to go down like this specific route? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
No, I get that as well. Because like, I sometimes I get a taxi and they're like, I'm thinking about going this way. Do you know if I can do that or not? And I'm like, I'm not the fucking taxi driver. I don't know my way. You know?
I always just say, please use whatever navigation tool you have.
I tell them, my simple trick is I just tell them, go the shortest route.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Just take me home. I need to be home right now.
Because sometimes if it's not on an app and you just call a taxi, they don't put it in the navigation, but they'll ask you like fucking 20 questions to be like, can I go this way?
I'm like, it's 2 in the morning. I'm shit faced. I don't know where I am. I just want to be home. Just take me home.
Unless it's like a very well-known monument or place, I normally always just say, hey, can you put in the address? And then they'll pull up the sat nav thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Juice, let's go. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. And then you just read it out to them. That's pretty useful.
I have a similarly like kind of funny story that happened just the other night. So we just got back from a tour, which we'll obviously talk about later in the show.
Yep.
But I wanted to like catch up with some friends because I haven't seen them in a while, right? And we were doing a meetup in Shibuya, and there's this couple of izakayas that me and my group of friends like going to, just for a big group meetup because it's especially like on like a Friday night or whatever. Most izakayas in Shibuya
it's getting busy now.
Packed
it's
now, especially
really
now.
But packed.
I know of a couple of like kind of hidden spots that usually are quite free even on weekends. So we went there. And, we were just like drinking, chatting away. And we were the only ones there to begin with, right? And we were like, oh, this is great. We got the whole place to ourselves. And then just like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours into the night, this huge group of people just start walking. Like, I want to say like 50 to 100 people.
Jesus.
Just like all like, like 5 people at a time. And then it's 10 people. And then it's 5 people. And then before you know it, this entire place is packed with people just like standing around drinking and stuff like that. But it's like, whatever, we got our seats, we're having fun, it's all good.
Yeah.
And then about 20 minutes in, I just kind of like noticed, I'm like, man, it's really quiet. Why is it so quiet? And I'm looking around and it's still full of people, but it's like really quiet.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where we're the only ones talking. And then in the corner of the bar, I see this sign in Japanese that says, bi-yearly meet and drink meetup for the deaf. And I noticed every single person in this bar other than us is talking in sign language.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, that's why it's so quiet. Because literally no one is talking. And everyone is just signing.
That's awesome.
And it's so bad. But like, the first thing in my mind that I thought of was, well, I hope we're not being too loud.
Joey, that's the only thing you don't have to worry about now.
But it's like immediately like, oh, fuck. I hope oh, wait. No, we're good. But it was really cool because it's like, I knew a couple of people in school who were like deaf and stuff like that, but like I'd never seen that many deaf people in a social setting, like let alone at a bar, right? And everyone's like signing to each other, and there are people on like video calls to each other, and they're signing to each other, and I'm like, this is really freaking cool, but it's also really weird because it's so packed and yet it's so quiet.
Yeah.
And all you hear is just like the rustle of like clothes moving around and stuff if it's not talking. But so yeah, that was a really interesting time, I guess. I guess now, if you come to Tokyo, you go to Shibuya, there's a bi-yearly meeting for the deaf, apparently. So,
cool. Like how you got like the one day, the
one day out of the 2 days of the year where it's just a bunch of deaf people who are like, should we go drinking? Yeah, let's go drinking. Yeah. It was really cool, yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Ridge. Guys, are you tired of big, bulky wallets taking up precious pocket space? Well, thanks to Ridge, that is a problem no more. Connor, what are you holding there?
This is the Ridge wallet.
Look at that minimalist design. That sleek, metal-plated wallet that fits nicely in that front pocket of yours. Carbon fiber?
This is a carbon fiber Ridge wallet, and this shit is rock solid.
Oh my lord.
I've had previous wallets in the past that have been really bulky and large and kind of annoying to work through, but the Ridge wallet is small, sleek, and simple, and it's so easy to get any of my cards. Best of all, fits in any pocket.
But did you know, guys, Ridge doesn't just give you these sleek, beautiful wallets as well. They also have the key case, which comes super handy in case I lose some keys and stuff. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are, Garnt. Not to mention, Ridge also has a bunch of pocket knives, as well as backpacks. They have the whole shebang. So if you want to go check out Ridge for yourself and support the boys in the process, then make sure to go over to ridge.com/trashtaste.
But Joey, you forgot to mention that using our link, you can get up to 40% off until December 22nd. So act fast. Back to the video.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out like a bunch since coming back to Japan, and like I've definitely noticed one thing I've noticed now is that before everyone knew you were living in the country, right? Everyone knew you were living in the country because the borders were closed. But now that the borders are open, I've seen like a total mentality change, right? Because now before when I go to a restaurant, everyone's like, oh, where do you live? How long have you been living here? Now people are like panicking because they're like, is it a tourist or is it not a tourist? Shit.
Even when I'm speaking Japanese, they're speaking to me back in English now. It's like they just swap. They're like, all right, well, that's a white guy.
Like I went to this restaurant the other day with Sydney, and they literally asked us, "Oh, God, are you visiting?" And we were like, "No, we live here." And they were like, "Oh, is a Japanese menu okay for you?" Because some places don't have an English menu. And we said, "Yeah, we've lived here before. Japanese menu's fine." So we go sit down. They give us the English menu anyway. Even though we said a Japanese menu is okay, they're like, no. We don't trust you. Here's the English menu.
I've had that happen to me so many times. Like the waitress comes up to me and is just like, "Oh, English okay?" And I reply back in Japanese, being like, "No, Japanese is fine. I live around here." And it's just like, "Oh, okay." Comes back and it's just like, "Here's the English menu just in case." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I just talked to you in Japanese. I'm good. I can read it." Oh my god!
Yeah, I've noticed there's so many more foreigners now.
There is.
Immediately.
Well, we were literally landed in the airport and we got recognized like instantly. To be fair, the guy was really nice. Shout out to this guy. We were getting our bags and this guy goes, "I'm not gonna bother you guys, but I'm a big fan."
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. No, just like I'm sure you two have noticed as well, but just like over the past week, just been exponentially just more people.
I mean, we did this. I did this IRL stream with Chris and Pete, and it was insane. We had so many more stream snipers. It was insane.
And I did notice an interesting thing though, where at least with me, I immediately know if someone is a fan of like the Anime Man or if someone is a fan of Trash Taste.
Yeah.
Because I know they're a fan of Trash Taste because they come up to me and they go, "Are you Joey?" But if they're a fan of me, they go, "Are you the Anime Man?" And then that's where I'm like, okay, I know exactly like which mode to switch to now and like what to talk about and stuff. Because I had that exact same experience like maybe 10 minutes apart, like one day because my parents were visiting. And I got recognized a bunch because I was out and about. And just like 10 minutes apart, there was one dude who was like, "Are you the Anime Man?" Never heard of Trash Taste. Never knew anything about Trash Taste. Just knows me as the Anime Man. 10 minutes later, American dude stops me and goes, "Yo, Joey, what's up, man? I just missed out on the Trash Taste tour." And I'm like, it's just really interesting, kind of like the dynamic between like the two fan bases, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean,
I can tell as well because it's like the Giguk or the Garnt. How do they refer to me?
Yeah.
Sometimes they just mistake me for Joey, which happens a lot.
Some guy goes, "I love the other Asian guy in Trash Taste." I was like, "Which one?"
I don't know if you're aware, but there's two of us.
There's two Asian guys. Which one were you referring to?
Are you talking about the full Asian guy or the half Asian guy?
I was like, all right, thanks, man. I was like, is that disrespectful? Yeah. Like, I don't know. But I mean, it's cool though, because I felt like a lot of the bars and restaurants feels like they're kind of returning to normal almost. It's kind of cool. It's like nice.
The world is healing again.
There has literally been like a switch I've noticed that with like all these restaurants and bars are just so much more alive now. And so much more like down for foreigners to come in. It's crazy how night and day it's swapped.
It's like they're actually prepared, for more foreigners to come in.
Well, because I'm sure as a business owner, you're probably just like frothing for the foreigners to come back, right? Being like, there's only so many.
Some, I'm sure some.
Some are.
Some of them are probably just like, "Oh God, here they come again." But others are just like, "Oh, thank God, we can actually get customers in now. Not have to rely on the same 3 local people that come back every week, right?" It's been nice.
And now my favorite thing now is seeing all the TikToks of like this crazy thing I found in Japan. It's like a really like well documented tourist thing. And it's like you won't believe it. It's like, all right,
this is the crazy.
I do believe it.
This is the craziest cafe that I found in Shinjuku, and it's like all the same voice. Like it's like
sorry, I'm not trying to be like talking down to you. It's just funny.
It's just funny.
I find it fun as well because I get recommended those TikToks sometimes as well, where it's just like, this is is how life in Japan works. And it's like, the vending machines keep the fucking drinks cold. I actually thought I saw that one.
It's like 8 amazing things that make Japan so convenient. Yeah, just shit like that. Yeah, I remember I saw one the other day, which was like this girl who clearly first time in Japan and stuff like that. And it was like, I want to take you guys to my favorite local ramen shop that I think is absolutely delicious.
No, gotta be Ichiran.
It was a fucking Ichiran.
No!
I'm like, bruh, you can get this anywhere. Literally anywhere. Oh my god, if in case you guys have been living under a rock, we just came back from the Trash Taste tour in America.
Oh, it feels so good to be back here,
It
man.
feels good to be
It's
back.
so good.
Too much America. Quite frankly.
I am America'd out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wake up next to Sydney, I'm like, why'd you have to be American City? God fucking damn it. I've had enough of this right now.
So we did 23 shows around the entire US.
41
and
days on the road.
Yeah, there was a long time. We went to a lot of the most populated US states. Obviously, we didn't go to many of the ones like Nebraska,
Yeah.
Montana. Because, sorry, guys, there's not much to do there. And not many people there.
Sorry, Midwest.
Yeah, but we had a lot of people from those less populated states come to some of the shows,
Yeah.
which is cool.
We had some people from Canada like drive down to some of our like northern shows as
Some
well.
people came up from Mexico and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, yeah, some people from Mexico drive up for like Texas. That was crazy.
We had one person that we met that flew in from Hawaii, which is
Holy shit.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, yeah, we had 23 shows. We started from we did one tester show in LA, then flew to Minneapolis, then got on the tour bus, which was so much cooler than I think any of us expected.
Oh, it was so cool.
I thought I was kind of like dreading the tour bus, and we got a lot of questions about like
I was
what
scared.
is.
I was scared for the tour.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
didn't
just
know what to
like,
expect.
I'm gonna be leaving with these guys and a bunch of strangers for like 40 days. I don't know how I feel about that, but it was actually like really, really nice and really, really comfortable and a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
Because it kind of felt like after the road trip special, which is now out, thankfully, like I was dreading that it was going to be 41 days of just that experience, and I'm literally going to kill one of the boys if I'm stuck in this space. But like the tour bus actually gave you like quite a lot of space and quite a lot of like time to do your own shit.
I think it definitely helped that the majority of the traveling that happened on the bus was happening while we were asleep.
Yeah.
So
It's
it was like
fast traveling.
Yeah, it's like fast traveling in an RPG.
It's great because people were asking us, oh, how's the drive been? How's the roads been? And we were like, literally, we blink in one place and we wake up in another. You know?
Yeah, the only roads I think any of us saw were like the roads between I think Colorado and Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah,
We
we
saw
saw
like
like the Grand Canyon.
yeah,
and
we
all
saw
that
like
kind of stuff.
Utah and all that stuff, and a lot of Nevada.
That was the only part I think we were awake while we were traveling.
Yeah, and even then it was like what, an hour or two in the morning,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, you don't actually spend a lot of time on the bus as you think. So like the normal day would be, you wake up, you've arrived at the new place, you pretty much immediately get off the bus. So your bed is like a capsule hotel, but stacked, and there's 12 of you.
Yeah.
And then you get off the bus, shower at the venue, go get lunch. Then maybe you wait around, then do sound check at 3.
Yeah.
You have to wait for like an hour or two. Then we do the Q&A before the show at 6.
Yeah.
And then we wait, and then it finishes at 7. Wait 1 hour, 8. And then we finish the show around 10:30. We maybe have a celebration on the bus.
Yeah.
We're drinking, talking until like 2, and then we go to bed and the bus moves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of every single day.
Just that for 41 days.
That was basically our schedule. Our life was just living on a bus or in a green room. And I don't know about you guys. Like a lot of people were like scared about would I get good sleep on the bus. I got fucking fantastic sleep on the bus.
Better sleep on the bus than I did in some hotels.
Same here.
It was a
same
dice
here.
roll for me.
Yeah.
Some days I did, some days I didn't. It was mainly like, because I don't know about you guys, but I realized that sleeping on a moving vessel while I needed to pee kept waking me up. I had to go pee like at least 2-3 times a night, and normally I don't ever have to pee when I'm sleeping.
Really?
Right.
So this was like, oh my god, I'm getting so stressed
That's how
out.
old men feel.
I felt like I was rapidly aging. Yeah. But some nights I would get amazing sleep because the bus kind of rocks you. Like, because the engine hum is so loud, and also there's AC in the sleeping like quarters sleeping area.
Yeah.
There's a giant AC unit that is so loud.
And ventilation system as well.
and then so you cannot hear anything from anyone else's bunk.
It was surprising, like, because I remember the first time we got on this bus and we saw how close of a proximity all the beds were to each other.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't think there's gonna be any privacy. Like, I'm gonna be able to hear everyone fucking snore.
No, not at all.
Nothing. It's literally like in when you fall asleep
really
in an
loud.
airplane.
It
Like
It was
like that.
perfect because even though the AC and like the engine were really loud, they acted at like the perfect white noise.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good.
Like if you've ever like slept with like a white noise like filter or something in the background, that's kind of what it felt like, where you couldn't hear anyone snoring, you couldn't hear anyone like rustle around or anything like that. You just heard a constant white noise that was constant throughout the night. And then I sleep great on moving vehicles. I don't know about you guys, but when I slept better when the bus was in motion than when the bus was like still.
Although I must say, our bus driver did get a little wacky crazy at some of the locations. Like there were some turns where he did where I almost fell out.
I
of my
really
bunk.
fell out.
I had to like hold on to being like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And then obviously when you get into the
Gs.
cities, because you're stopping and starting so much because of traffic,
Yeah.
because the highways you're going.
Yeah.
But the cities you're stopping and starting, so you're like, your body's sort of coming out of the sleep cycle anyway, and then you kind of like
Yeah.
start
Yeah, you're just,
stop
like,
all the
bumping
time, so you
around.
kind of
Yeah.
like wake up a lot earlier than you want to a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so like to explain this bus, we call it a bus. It's more like a coach, you know what I mean? Because when I say
It's
bus,
giant.
I think like double decker bus. No, it was like a single decker like coach kind of thing. And then you go into the coach, and then the first thing you see is like this living room area
So
where
cool.
you got like you got like sofas on either
table.
side. There's a table and a kitchen and stuff like that.
3 TVs scattered all
Yeah,
around.
Yeah.
3 TVs scattered around, permanently playing fucking SpongeBob or some shit, whatever was on American TV. And then you go into the next room, and there are 12 bunk beds, and there are like three
stacked.
3 layers, basically 3 layers. So there's the bottom layer, there's the middle layer, and there's the top layer. And according to like most people, you get the best sleep on the middle layer, right?
Yeah.
So me and Connor chose the middle layer. Joey chose the top layer,
Yeah.
which kind of scared me because if you fall out of that bed,
Yeah.
that's a
long
big
drop.
that's a big
And
drop
you have to
down.
climb to get in there and
Yeah.
climb out in the morning.
I mean, I only chose the top bunk because I'm a child at heart, and I was like, "Oh yay, top bunk!"
Fair enough.
But no, like I still got really good sleep on the top bunk,
good.
so
Yeah,
it
that's
was
good.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's one extra room in the back, which was meant to be for the talent room, but that just turned into let's just put all our shit into this one room.
Yeah.
and it was like unusable. for
Yeah,
me.
shit
I
room.
guess in like
Yeah.
a normal tour, like the talent have their own like private quarters at the back.
If there's
of the
like
bus.
one talent, apparently some of the tour buses have like a room that's like a bedroom as well.
Oh, okay.
Like a bed that
Yeah,
folds
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, that would be cool, but
Yeah.
obviously there's 3 of us, so.
Yeah, and for the most part, like we didn't really utilize that room, and it kind of just became like a storage space, just
Yeah.
because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, when Aaron, who helped organize this tour, shout out to Aaron by the way, was like, by the end of this tour, these guys who you think are strangers right now, who are going to be with you on this bus, they're going to end up being like family.
Yeah.
And like, I always thought when I heard that from like multiple people, who've done tours before, I just thought it was like, just some kind of like, not excuse type of thing, but just like a thing that maybe not everyone can relate to type of thing, right? But like, I don't know about you boys, but like by the end of the tour, it was like a family.
Yeah.
Like, and we got really close to the staff that we had, and we were always just like hanging out with them in that front section. And so
Yeah.
we were like, we don't have to use this back room. Let's
Yeah.
just go hang out with everyone else.
Yeah, because obviously you want to hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
always hanging out with everyone. It's always a good time.
So there was actually more people than I thought there were going to be living on the bus with us like prior to the tour, because we only knew probably we were gonna have like some Geeks Plus staff members and some people from the tour company that we worked with. And I was thinking, okay, there's gonna be like a manager, someone like stagehands. I like didn't take into account just how much staff is needed to run a tour, because
That's
there's
crazy, yeah.
there's like multiple merch people and there's like managers and everything like that. And there's our staff as well on top of that, and there's the technical people as well. There were like so many people on this tour bus with us, and I thought, fuck, this is gonna be a lot for 41 days. But like,
Yeah.
it was such a nice experience because luckily everyone was chill and we pretty much got along with everyone.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know, you guys said it kind of felt like a holiday in some cases.
Yeah, it did. 'Cause
I definitely treat it as a holiday.
well, yeah, because like I normally work way more than that. So only doing
Right.
like a 2-hour show and then having the rest of the day where I can't really do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, Okay, I guess I get to relax.
Yeah, because like, you know, there were some days where like we had to stop by kind of halfway between two places because legally our bus driver could only drive a certain amount of hours per day. So there were some days where we would stop by and just like the middle of nowhere, get a day hotel and then just, you know, go and explore type of thing. And in my head, I'm like, okay, before the tour, I planned out these days of like on the days that we're at the hotel, we could get like our own room and I could like, you know, film some videos, catch up to work and stuff like that. But then when it actually happened, I was like, no, I think I'd rather just go out with everyone and like actually go see this part of the country that, let's be real, probably not going to go back to.
Never going to go back to Mississippi.
Like, when am I ever going to go back to Biloxi, Mississippi? You know? So fuck that.
We had a great time there, actually.
Actually
had a great fucking time there.
Yeah. No, it was great. I actually really enjoyed the days off.
Yeah, definitely made me appreciate how much work goes into doing these. You know, when you go to a venue and you watch a show with like with 1,000 people or something, made me realize just how many moving parts there are.
There are a lot.
You know, a lot of people were like, "Damn, why aren't they coming to my place or whatever?" It's like, well, it's very fucking difficult to organize a tour.
Yeah,
and it kind of sucks. A lot of people are like, "Why the US?" Well, the US is in a very unique place where it is actually like built for tours.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time when you're moving merch across borders, and that's how a lot of these shows, I didn't realize this either. A lot of these concerts only make like most of their profits through the merch.
Yeah.
Like ticket sales, you don't actually get that much money because a lot of like the venue's expensive, everything else is expensive, all the staff. Like you as the like talent and the kind of agency or whatever, you don't make much money from the tickets. And the US is in a prime position where you can actually drive around all the same country where all the same like rules with selling merch.
Well, it's all the laws because I think we learned a lot just from doing this US tour because there were a lot of complaints being like, oh, they hate the entire world because everyone just goes to the US. So we did one show in Canada, and I think like the only time we got like negative feedback from our show was from that one show in Canada, and that was to do with there was like we had the show in Canada. And we didn't realize that there were different laws in terms of bringing merch across the border, different laws of hiring staff members because all staff members need to be hired locally. And there was a lot of logistical things that just weren't within like our radars when we sorted it out.
We didn't know that. We didn't know that, but obviously the tour company knew that. But obviously still, you know, trying to get like the merch shipments to arrive on time. I didn't realize this was a problem, but that's a whole thing. And that needs to be taken care of. So a lot of the times you're kind of hoping that all the moving pieces should work. Sometimes they don't. And it's like, what do we do?
We ended up like shipping 12 boxes of merch to our Canada show and one arrived. And then we had one day to get as much merch made locally in Canada as we could. Unfortunately, it wasn't as much merch as we had in our US shows, but that's kind of like the things that people don't think about and don't know about. Because, you know, when, you know, if you do a tour in multiple countries, every country has their own laws. Every country has their own taxes. It's not just getting people from one venue to another. You know, it's...
So what we're trying to say is hate the game, not the player.
Obviously it can be done because people do it, but it's just, it's harder.
It is a lot harder.
For a first tour, the US makes a lot of sense.
This was also our first tour as well, so we had so many things that I guess we just didn't know until it happened. I mean, thankfully, I'd like to say that the tour was a massive success.
Oh, so I didn't see any negative reviews.
I'm so glad because like we one of the biggest things I was worried about pre-tour was that we'd start doing like shows and people would like you know, I've seen feedback before of like, you know, people that have gone on tours and, you know, I've seen the feedback of just like, oh, it wasn't really worth the money. I spent all this money to see and it just wasn't really worth it. And I'm like, thankfully it felt like everyone had a good time and we put on a good show that we brought to like different places. And I was just like, I think it was like after the first show that I actually had like faith in our show, I guess. Because
well, we had the outline of the show and we didn't actually, we'd never rehearsed it and we didn't really know how it was going to go until the rehearsals, which was 2 days before our actual show.
And like our show relied so much on like crowd interaction and having a rehearsal in front of like 5 people versus like the 1,000 people that we had in our actual show was like night and day in terms of like vibe and chemistry and stuff like that. So I was going through rehearsals. I was like, I think we have a good show, but I'm not sure.
I think as well, it was tough for us because, you know, we do stuff in front of a camera, right?
Yeah.
And doing stuff in front of a camera like this, or like the videos that we do personally, is very different to putting on a show on stage, right?
Oh, it is.
And, you know, some people will be like, oh, but you guys are used to, you know, doing panels at conventions and stuff like that. It's a very different feel.
Yeah.
You know, a panel is a million times easier than what we had to do on stage.
I was fucking knackered after every show.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I like, it drains me
Yeah.
so much. And that's because like we actually try to make it a show rather than just make it, you know, trash
Podcast on stage.
Podcast
Yeah.
on stage.
It was really cool
Yeah.
getting to see you guys from the first show, like the 10th show, how much you guys quickly improved at like, being on stage. It was really fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I think by like the halfway point, we all had like a rhythm, and
Yeah,
on stage
yeah.
we knew how to like bounce off each other, what worked well with the crowd, what didn't work so well with the crowd.
I also noticed we had like, just without even discussing it necessarily, we had like certain jokes that we knew the kind of rhythm to,
Yeah.
and like where to place it, and like, because it was always, you know, you do the show and then you kind of noticed, oh, okay, this joke kind of hit. Maybe I can try it again in the next show. And then without thinking, like, I knew exactly when, say, like Connor or Garnt were going to say specific jokes, and knew exactly kind of the feel and rhythm to go with it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, Garnt would do like the One Piece is real thing at the beginning,
Yes.
which always popped off, right? And I always knew to sing Can We Get Much Higher? You know, so it was just kind of like, it's this weird thing of, it started off as very much like an impromptu ad-lib filled script, like, you know, non-scripted show.
Yeah.
But then I feel by the end of it, it kind of turned into like almost a scripted show in a weird way.
It was like we had segments that we didn't know what was going to happen,
Yeah.
and then segments that was kind of like scripted that
Yeah.
we kind of knew how to like transition between segments and stuff
Yeah,
like that, and
definitely.
play off the audience and stuff like that. But like having said that, you know, I'd say that every show did have a lot of like variety in them, and we kind of did that by design, and it was very, very interesting to see what the different vibe in each city was.
We
right?
definitely learned a lot about, I guess, like the diversity of crowds in the US.
Oh,
that's for sure.
I think what I enjoyed most about the shows was actually like our show was our way to learn about that particular area, and I learned a lot that you couldn't just get by Googling what are the top five what are the top five most famous things about this one area, right?
It was really, really interesting getting to see what certain states and cities were really passionate about, stuff they weren't. That was fun because a lot of the times it was very surprising.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the times we got questions because we did Q&A before every show, and people would always ask, you know, did the tour change your opinion on the US at all? And I would always answer yes and no.
Yeah.
Because yes, some things did change, but it doubled down like 10 other things.
Oh God, yeah.
And we kept having like an argument about like, we were like, is the US more diverse than they claim, or is it? Because
Right.
Oh yeah.
Garnt was like, I think the US is more diverse than say the UK compared to Australia. I was like, you're full of shit. Like that's not true at all.
I didn't say that. I said it felt like going from West Coast to East Coast. I felt like going from like say LA to New York to me felt more different than going to London to Sydney. I still believe that. I genuinely believe that.
Should I be offended as an Australian?
Yes.
Why? Why is that offensive?
Because it's like not even close.
Bro, Australians are a different breed of people.
Yeah.
They're like straight up
I
different.
don't think so. I don't think so.
I would
think-
understand the comparison between, say, like Australia and New Zealand. That's a little more understandable. But like
Okay.
Australia and England, bro,
No,
come
we're
on.
different. We're different.
We tried our
okay.
best to not.
Yeah,
be
they
that.
literally did everything right.
I think culturally,
Yeah.
you know, I think Australians and Brits have a lot in common culturally.
Oh, of course.
We have like a very
So,
similar
actually,
sense of humor. We have a very similar.
I agree. There's comparisons there. What do you think of the differences then between the West Coast and the East Coast vibes?
I think the vibe in East Coast is like totally different from West Coast. East Coast, they like talk faster. They are much more direct with the way they like speak and treat people.
I agree with that.
You know, like West Coast are like way more chilled. They're a bit more flowery with their language and their words. Whereas, you know, with East Coast, it's kind of like, you know, they talk way faster. And
More
things
direct, yeah.
things move faster in the East Coast than the West Coast. You know, I think because when I went to Sydney for example, when I went to Sydney, I was like, damn, this kind of feels like London with good weather. You know, I was looking, you know,
that changes the game though. That's everything. The weather is everything.
No, I remember the exact words you said. You were like, wow, you hung out in Sydney for like 3 days and you were like, this is like the UK, except if everyone was happy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, good weather.
It's like going to other European countries and be like, it's like the UK, but different language. It's like,
no. I think, you know, different countries in Europe are fucking totally different in terms of like vibes and cultures and everything like that. I was just saying, I think the UK and Australia have a lot similar culturally.
You're comparing London and Sydney, which are two cities. I think the UK is very diverse throughout, and you know you can't compare Scotland to like London.
Yeah, I would say there's a bigger difference between like Dublin and London. You know,
like Dublin feels like a different country than
let's
London.
Let's say England then.
Okay,
let's say
fine,
England,
fine.
because England to me is London and then everywhere else. London has like.
Have you gone to the north?
I have been to the north.
Okay. Where have you got? What's the most?
How far north?
Yeah, how far north?
Liverpool. I've gone to
Liverpool.
Is Liverpool not north? Liverpool is northern. Come on.
It's north, but it's not. It's not north.
Okay, it's not Yorkshire. It's not fucking.
I'm telling you, because
Newcastle.
I've been to Liverpool many times, bro. I've been to Grimsby once. It did not feel like Liverpool at all.
Right.
I don't know. I think that I think it's hard to. You can judge cities a lot easier, especially like London and Sydney, because well, Sydney was kind of built like London in a sense. You know, there are sections of Sydney that look very similar to something you would find in London. But I think if you're comparing the culture of the country, like as Australia to England, it's very different. It's so different. It's night and day.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Why do you? Okay,
Yes.
what do you think? What do you think is like so different about it then? Because genuinely,
this is now you have to ask, what is a culture? We're doing this again. Well, what makes up the culture?
What constitutes this culture?
Right. So, like, are we talking just the people? Are we talking because, like, you know, if you're talking how they have their own dialect, essentially, they talk very differently. They have their own.
Australia
words.
has its own language.
Yeah. They have, its own native population, which is totally different as well, which plays an impact. They don't play the same sports a lot of the times as us. They have AFL, and they play some of them like cricket and rugby, but you know they do play other sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have sun. That's a big one. They surf and
they have
surf.
sun.
They have
We
beaches.
have good beaches.
That changes the game, quite frankly. you know?
Okay. What? Okay. Here's. I think.
Animals, they're completely different landscapes.
And the way you interact with them as well is
you
different.
can say that with a place like America. You know, you go to fucking Florida.
No, I
you
agree, I
have
agree.
fucking gators. You go to Colorado.
Florida, it's in its own thing.
But that's the thing, right? It's still the same country, right?
I agree. I agree. You know,
That's
there's native populations in America, obviously as well, and it depends a lot. I don't know. It feels weird because no matter where you go, right, and no matter how much local differences, they never quite lose that kind of Americanness that they always have. Whereas like certain traits that I think Americans often have, and I think that just never really. So you always, even though you're in Seattle, you're in Florida, it always feels like America. That feeling never really goes, no matter which. At least from the mainland, I've never been to Hawaii or.
I mean, Hawaii is something.
Never been to Alaska either. I don't know how that feels, but it always still feels America. Like you can never quite shake that kind of the vibes that Americans have in a weird way.
Yeah. I'm saying. I do think, you know, there is some kind of like American-ness in the feeling and stuff like that. But I'm saying like there is a lot of like going to different parts of America. There was a lot of like differences. There was like some similarities, but I've never felt like such a dichotomy of like different mentalities and different ways of thinking in the same country before. Like, as I was saying, the reason I brought up the UK and Australia is that to me, it feels like, you know, UK are like, I'm going to say England, okay, because I'm mostly talking about England.
Yeah.
English people and Australian people feel like they're cut from the same cloth, but they just have different starting like parameters, you know. But I feel like we're kind of cut from the same cloth. A lot of English people get along well with Australians. I mean, we're fucking same brain cell and shit like that, even though we grew up like halfway across the world from each other. You know what I mean? I feel like culturally, we have like the same sense of humor a lot of the times. We kind of think very similar. We have like, you know, we have our different cultures that depend on, you know, where we are in the world and everything like that, and like the wildlife and the geography and all that stuff. But I feel like at its core, we think a lot of the same ways. Whereas in America, you go to like different states, like there is such a big difference going from a red state to a blue state. It's like you feel.
I agree with that, and obviously a lot of Americans when you're watching this are like, yo, I don't want to be fucking grouped in with like Nebraska. I don't want to be grouped in with Florida. And that happens a lot. So a lot of Americans always really feel patriotic a lot of the time about their state or where they are.
Yeah.
And I agree. Yeah, there are a lot of differences. But again, like I said, it still feel like you never feel like you've left America in a sense. And like, I very much feel like I'm not in the UK when I'm in Australia when I was there. It definitely didn't feel like it at all to me.
Right.
I don't know.
I was like walking around like Sydney and I saw like pubs and I saw like chippies and like chicken shops. I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm in London now, man. I kind of feel like I'm at home right now. I don't know.
I guess it's, again, like I said earlier, it's hard to compare cities, right? Because the cities more often than not, like you get more Australian the more you leave a city, right?
Oh,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, when I went outside of London for the first time, like towards like
you see the countryside.
Like, Chris took me to like Salisbury and like, other places like that. And I'm just like, this is definitely not like Australia anymore. Like, this is just like as British as it fucking gets. But like, I get it. Yeah. When it comes to the cities, for sure. But like, I don't know. There's still, I feel just like fundamentally so much more of a bigger difference just because of the years that have passed, especially, and the fact that geographically we're so far apart. But like, even like, I get it with like in America, for example, like there is definitely more of a diversity in terms of like the surface level with the people, like, and not even talking about like an accent wise, right? Like, obviously the moment someone opens their mouth for the most part, roughly whereabouts they're from. Right, but like I still feel like as Connor said, like there's still at the end of the day, regardless of if I was in Mississippi or Seattle, I'm like, it's still is American. There's still Americans, and maybe it's because
that make you feel like you're in America.
And maybe it's because there's this
what do you think that thing is then?
I don't know.
I think it says, I realized from doing this tour and speaking to way more Americans than I ever have in my life is that Americans are like super fucking nice and they're really hospitable.
Hospitable for sure.
And they're always really nice. And then occasionally they might just say something or something gets brought up. And then, like if for some reason politics is ever mentioned, they say something like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we disagree on this.
Yeah.
But I keep my mouth shut. I never bring it up. But I notice some people, like, you cannot, like, okay, between, like, super left people and super right people, initially on the, like, if you're just talking, you cannot tell the difference between, it's just like, when something gets said, oh my God, does it come out very fast.
There's like a rhythm to the conversation that I think is very uniquely American, and I don't know exactly how I can describe it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm not American, I can't see it, but everyone feels super nice, super welcoming, and then if for some reason something is ever brought up that is political, even remotely so, it flips to the American that you see on the TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you have these very strong opinionated people who are very open. And then you're like, okay, this is the America you see on the TV, which is why in a way it kind of made me appreciate America more in the sense that I don't think it's all doom and gloom because on TV, bro, they make America look god awful.
Yeah.
They are doing you dirty. Yeah. And America does it themselves because they know that's what gets clicks.
Yeah, of course.
And so on TV and from movies and all this stuff, you get the impression that Americans are fucking insane. And to some extent, in Florida, they are. It is the case, but like I think most people in America are super chill, super nice, really awesome to talk to. Just don't bring up politics. Ever.
It's funny because we actually, funnily enough, we went. Everyone's just like, oh, how many more things do you have to shit on about America? And we found a lot. Don't worry about that. But we also found things we liked about America as well. Because I just liked how you always knew where you stood with an American. Because I grew up in British culture where everything's behind like 10 layers of fucking sarcasm or something like that. Is someone being passive aggressive or not? You have to go through like 10 layers to figure it out. Like I get sent an email, right? A business email. He used regards instead of kind regards. Is he like, am I on a shit list or something?
He's an asshole.
Did I do something wrong to piss him off or did he forget? I don't know. With an American, you always know where you stand, because the
email will start with "Dear asshole." It's like, oh, okay, I'm on his shit list now.
And I'm like, I like that. I like that people are just direct there and they just tell you exactly how they're feeling. You don't have to like hide behind like so much bullshittery.
Conversation's always nice. I always had a great time, As much as I hate tipping, It was great for getting rid of change that I didn't want.
Oh, yeah.
I would just round out. I'm like, this is awesome. Hold up, wait, this is a scam. Yeah, tipping was a joke at times. Also, it is somewhat convenient. I understand why some Americans are so attached to it, but also never ever let that shit leave America. Please get that out of my country.
Yeah.
And there was some other stuff that was nice. Just people were always pleasant.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, right? It's like, I don't know when it comes to like the hospitableness of like the average American, like for sure, like I think we all discovered it's like, yeah, Americans for the most part, very welcoming, you know, when they mean to be welcoming, and they're very hospitable, and they want to make sure that you're having the best time that you can in their country.
Yeah.
Right. But then at the same time, I'm just like, is that the average American or is that just the average Trash Taste fan?
Yeah.
You know, that was a part of me where I'm just like,
we spoke to a lot of people outside of the Trash Taste fans, obviously, because we had a lot of days where we were just not doing shows.
Yeah.
And also we were just talking to people normally. It was always a good time.
Definitely.
I don't think I had any bad experiences, but I'm white though, so I don't know if that plays into it.
I mean, yeah. Had a bit of an experience in Detroit.
I was about to say, do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, I mean,
people who missed out on that story.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, we go to Detroit. We had a show in Detroit, and you know, I had heard about Detroit's reputation and everything like that before.
Thank you, Eminem.
Yes, so I came out like guarded. So there was this like anime shop that was like 1 block away. So I was like, what's the worst thing that could happen if I just go to this?
You went to Detroit to go to an anime shop?
No, there was just one that was just like a block away from our like from the venue, and I was like, there's nothing. We got like 3 hours to kill.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why not check it out? Why not check out to the anime shop just to see what the Detroit scene's like?
Right.
We walk out, and I'm with my with our producer at the time, and I'm walking around. It was actually like a really bougie area. We had like really nice coffee shops, really nice.
The Detroit wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
From what I'd heard from Detroit, it sounded like a war zone.
Yeah.
Like
But at least the area we were in was quite nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
The streets were clean, and I was like, damn, this is not the image of Detroit that I thought it was gonna be.
Obviously, I know there are some areas that are
Obviously,
not good.
obviously,
Of course.
But, yeah,
But
it was like a nice bougie area, and I remember turning to my producer, be like, "Wow, Detroit's not what I thought it was going to be at all. This is like a really nice looking area. This is really bougie." As soon as I finish the sentence, I walk around the corner, and then there's this guy walking up towards us. He sees me, and he goes, "You don't belong here. Get out." And I was just like, is he talking to me? I don't know if he's talking to me. Maybe it's just a crazy guy. Let's just go into the store. So we quickly shuffle into like the store. And as I open the door, I just hear in the corner of my ear, "I'm talking to you, boy. Get out now." And I'm like, I'm just gonna go in and just find solace in the fucking anime store.
That would have been
bro.
so scary.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, there it is.
obviously not good, but that was the only time anything ever happened, right? To any of us.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I definitely, if there's one thing I learned on this tour is how to talk to homeless people and get out of those situations, because there were many times throughout the tour where, you know, after the show, you know, we would just kind of like be hanging outside of the bus, you know, just like talking and chatting, getting some fresh air and stuff like that. And then, you know, usually it's at like midnight or like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And, you know, because we're for the most part parked in front of a venue, it's like, you know, right on the side street, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, with most American towns, there's a lot of homeless people, you know, walking around at night.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I probably it was in contact with like, I want to say like 50 altogether on this tour.
Yeah.
Homeless people. Every single tour, there was at least 1 or 2 homeless dudes who walk up to us. And I used the Didus technique.
I was going to say, I understand why Didus has this technique now.
The first one in Minnesota, dude walks up, you know, asking for change or whatever it was. I don't know. He was like slurring his words. And I hit him with the sorry man.
Yeah.
And he was and he just like grumbled and was just like, oh, well, at least you're nice about it. And I was like, oh my God, it works.
Yeah. Because I feel like, okay, in terms of like Americanness, right? There is like an inbred skill in like every American I've met.
Inbred.
Sorry, no.
Inbred skill.
Ingrained. Sorry.
Inbred skill.
An inbred
Ingrained
skill.
is what I meant to say. I'm sorry, man.
My
Too many
wife
of those.
/ sister taught me this
I'm
one.
sorry. We drove through Alabama once, and it just changed me, man. It changed. Like every American has this ingrained skill.
Yeah. That was a Freudian, wasn't it?
Ingrained skill to de-escalate with homeless people.
Yes.
I saw it several, like, I remember we were outside like the Texas venue and like this homeless guy comes up and it was me, you and Aaron. And I remember, do you remember the homeless guy that was like, yo, was Jay-Z performing here? and like Aaron was like a full-on conversation with him, and I'm thinking like he asked us like for crack and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna say shit.
Garnt and I were just completely silent.
Yeah, we were just completely silent, and Aaron just like dealt with it like a fucking pro. He was just like, nah,
like, sorry, bro.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of the times homeless people get demonized too much, right? At the end of the day, they're the fucking people who, you know, for whatever reason, life didn't go their way.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just showing a bit of compassion, they appreciate that.
Oh no, of course.
If
There's one thing I've learned, it's like the worst, I guess, reaction you can get from a homeless person is ignoring them.
Yeah.
You know, because if you ignore them, then that's when they get pissed off, right?
See,
but if you deal with it just like calmly and just, you know, candidly, just being like, sorry, man.
You're a human, right? No human wants to feel ignored.
Just be like, sorry, man. Have a good night. Just stuff like that. They're good.
Yeah. But like I notice it's just like very different in America versus like the rest of the world, for example. Because in most places in the world, you do ignore. You know, that's kind of like what you're taught to do, right? But in America, it's like when you see like a homeless person in America, they're like, it's hard to describe. They're very much way more active and in your face than in comparison to like other places in the world with like homeless people.
I think it's harder, right? Harder to get by. You know, they have a system that failed them. Obviously, one thing I think we all noticed is that the homelessness in a lot of the cities was insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was, you know, there were certain cities where it was like, whoa.
California,
This
dude.
is bad. Yeah. I mean, obviously, because West Coast, it's a lot warmer all year round, so a lot more homeless people can live there.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. But man, you feel for them, man. You know, the system in America, the way it's built, is not fair.
I remember though, Sarah, our VIP manager, was just blown away by the fact that it's like, wait, homeless people don't just talk to you in Japan. No. It's like, what do they do? And I'm like, you barely see them.
Yeah.
Like maybe in like Shibuya or Shinjuku, you might see them, but everywhere else, dude, they're not there. And she's like, where are they all? And I'm like,
That's so sad.
And she just couldn't believe it.
So sad
because her entire life, she's just been taught to be like, homeless dudes are going to come up to you late at night and you just have to deal with it.
It's just something you deal with and live with in America.
So and she just couldn't believe me when I said like, homeless, like I don't have to deal with homeless people in Japan. Yeah. And they just don't come up to you. And she just couldn't believe it. She's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean you don't have to deal with them? Like, as in they're not there? And I'm like,
I mean, I think in Japan, obviously, talking about homelessness, there's a lot of, it's like, obviously, how you become homeless and the systems that make you homeless, in a sense, are very, I think, impactful on then how, as a population, maybe they behave or what they need to do. Yeah. In America, you got to be ruthless to get by.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, in Japan, I think there's more options that you have. And the reason why I think homelessness is hard to get out of in Japan is it's so expensive to get a place, and if you don't have the correct documentation, it's impossible to get it sorted.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of homeless people in Japan. I mean, there's some that you see sleeping on the street, but a lot of them, homeless people in Japan, live in manga cafes or live in those hotels that are one night and they're like $30 or something really cheap.
Or they live like along the river under the
bridge. A lot of the times
like
they don't. You know, it's like it's an entirely different system. Because of the whole way that they become homeless and the barriers stopping them from getting out of homelessness are different. Yeah. And so I you know, it's very telling of the system and what's in place.
Yeah.
And that's why in Japan it's different.
Definitely.
Because I think it's just something that if it's like your first time in America, because like my parents like came to America for the first time this year as well, and it shocked them because they'd never seen this kind of like this, you know, this kind of like system with homeless people before. And you know, it's something that every American knows how to deal with, but if you come outside from come from the outside to see what is the situation in America, it's just like very, very like shocking. You know,
I remember the first time I visited America and a homeless dude talked to me, I was like, this is where I die.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see the fucking HP bar at the bottom. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to fight my way through this situation.
It's very intimidating. If you've never experienced the US.
Yeah.
Especially if you come from fucking Japan, you know.
Yeah. It's scary as shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's depressing as well because I hate seeing it online when people like demonize homeless people and they're like, man, they're the fucking worst, or it's their fault they're homeless. It's like, maybe sometimes that is the case, but I feel like just labeling them as lazy or whatever is so not helpful to the situation, and it's so frustrating.
Oh yeah, if it's their fault. If they're homeless, just buy a home, right?
Stop buying Starbucks latte. That shit drives me up the wall.
Actually, yeah. There was one situation. I think we were in Nashville, Tennessee. There was a homeless dude that came up to me. He was a really nice guy. Yeah. And just like, I actually had like a really nice conversation with him. And, you know, at the end of it all, like, I just gave him like $5 because I'm just like, you know what? You're not actually all that crazy. I actually had a great conversation with you. You're respectable about it, whatever. You know, it's fine. You know, take my money. But like, you know, if you're going to come up to me and be rude and shit about it, then like, don't expect change. You know, that's not how you do this shit, you know? Yeah.
No, I saw one. It was actually in Colorado, actually. You know, there was a homeless person who was asking for money. And, you know, a common response was obviously, sorry, don't have any money on me. Yeah. You know, I've only got a card. And he was fucking prepared, man. He whips out this like one of this, you know the square fucking device where it's like the contactless. It was like, don't worry, you can tip me if you want. I'm like, yo, he's fucking hustling, man. Yo,
homeless dudes in the 21st century. Holy shit. He just whips out his phone. He's like, I got PayPal.
I was like, that fucking shocked me, man. I was like, holy shit.
I respect that.
I'm torn in many ways about it because I also like you mentioned like that the one of them was nice and some of them aren't nice. And it's like, well, I don't know. In a weird way, it's like, man, the government should just fucking help them. Why do I have to decide which one is a good court jester and which one amused me the most? To give money out like a king giving it to a peasant. Like I'm like, just fucking help these people. Stop wasting all this money on other shit. But I guess a lot of people don't want to pay.
Yeah.
And also the problem's going on so long now that there's no simple solution. It's so ingrained and people accept it.
It's just become a cycle now, unfortunately.
It's frustrating.
Like,
yeah, I mean, currently the system's broken, and I'm not well informed enough to unfortunately know how to fix it.
Yeah, Garnt stepping in, guys.
Guys,
I'm going to end homeless.
Here's how you deal with it.
Well, okay, I mean,
just give them houses.
It's also, I just want to preface that obviously America has a bad one, but like the UK and Europe is also not great at all.
Oh, Australia has tons of homeless people as well, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, house prices are fucking insane.
Yeah,
in all of Europe and Australia and America right now, and you know. It's hard to change the rules when the dudes in top have benefits in making sure the house prices stay high.
Yeah. But like what? Okay, so we went across like how many states did we go in America again?
I mean, across or like a drive-through or
like stopped in.
Oh, stopped in? I don't know, like 30 maybe, 40, 35.
Was there?
No, not that many.
Oh, maybe 30.
I'd say 25 to 30.
Yeah, because it was weird because I was like talking to Sydney. I was like, I think I've been to more states than you have now.
Yeah.
Fuck
well,
you.
We've probably traveled more of the US than most people born in the US will travel.
Yeah. I actually downloaded an app which is like you can mark off like which states you've been to in the US. I've been to exactly 25 states, like 50% of the US.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's more than most Americans. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
But obviously we only spent a day there, so it's like...
I don't count the ones we drove through.
I think like a day is enough to get like a vibe
No,
of the
I agree.
But not enough to like know everything about the place. But it was like enough for me to get a vibe about where I would like possibly like to go back in the future, maybe. Yes.
Top 3 places in the US we went to. Go.
On this tour?
On this tour. Okay.
On the tour. Top 3.
The tour?
First place is easy for me. Nashville, Tennessee.
What do you like about Nashville?
That would be in my top 3 for sure. Yeah.
Like Nashville was super weird for me because if you're not from the US, no one really like knows about it.
You just know because some musical people are from there.
Yeah, you just know some new musical people know about it, are from there, but like no one really like talks about Nashville. But it was like one of the most active and happening cities we went to on our tour, I think, because there's this strip on Nashville, and I went there.
It's called the Strip.
It's called the Strip. Or it's like I think it's like their Broadway or something like that. And I went there on a Tuesday at 3 p.m. and it felt like I just walked into a music festival. There's this strip in Nashville that is like playing, that has live music in every bar 24/7.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
pretty
very
fucking
cool.
awesome.
It's fucking insane. And also like the city was like very chill. It's like in the South as well, so you get like Southern hospitality,
Yeah.
which I was like, one thing I
The
discovered.
chicken was good. The chicken there was awesome.
And it was only one of 4 cities that voted bone-in chicken as superior. So what isn't there to like about Nashville, Tennessee? Fucking awesome city.
Yeah, I like Nashville.
Good
Yeah.
chicken.
All right, so what's number 2 and 3 then, Garnt?
Number 2. Is it just on this tour?
Just
Or
on this tour.
Just on this tour.
Yeah, that you discovered on this
Okay,
tour.
well, it's. I don't know if this is gonna be a cop out, but I really enjoyed Toronto, Canada as well.
Man will do anything to not admit the US is good.
My favorite place in America,
Yeah.
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. The only Canadian stop we went to. No, I really, really enjoyed Toronto, and I'm already like planning to go back there with Sydney.
Yeah.
Actually,
I like Toronto too, but I'm not including it on the list.
yeah. You know, well, you said
All right,
on this
okay,
tour,
okay,
and
where-
we
where-
technically
all
went
right.
there on this tour.
What's number 3 then?
Number 3? I'll have to think about.
We'll come back
Okay.
to you. We'll come
Yeah.
back to
Okay,
you. Joey.
for me, it's like in no particular order. Nashville, Tennessee was sick
Okay.
as fuck.
Yeah.
I really like Denver, Colorado.
Okay, yeah,
Just
yeah.
because like it kind of has like it weirdly reminded me a lot of Melbourne.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
sense that it's like, especially like in Denver, like in the city, everything is like, you know, it's built up and it's compact, but like there's a lot of things to do in a really small vicinity. Like you could walk Denver
Yeah.
if you wanted to and like explore it and stuff like that. And it was really fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then I really like Seattle.
I was going to say Seattle.
Seattle
as
is
well.
sick as fuck.
Because I remember going there. I loved the culture of Seattle.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of like it's kind of like a good mix. It's like a good mix of like West Coast,
Yep.
without like, but I think they've got like their own flavor than say San Fran and LA.
Yeah,
you know?
we went down to those like famous markets.
Yeah, the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know about you guys, but like it gave me like a weirdly European vibe.
Yeah.
In like a weird way. Like it was
Yeah.
clearly still like American, right?
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
the markets themselves and like kind of the atmosphere and the vibe of just that little area,
Yeah.
like near the water, was very European. I'm like, this is kind
Seattle
of
was
cool. It's really weird.
I will say though, I probably wouldn't include Seattle on the list because I've been to Seattle several times before because I have family there. I really, really like the city, but when we went there. Weather was perfect.
Yeah.
Weather was perfect.
Oh, right.
I've been to Seattle before
raining?
and it was raining basically every day.
Right.
And
I
it was,
love rain.
I fucking
so
despise
British of
rain,
you.
okay?
I kind of, I was
Like-
like, kind of want the rain. Honestly.
Oh, another place I actually quite enjoyed, which I've been to before, but this time around I had a really, really fun time, was Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say, so my top 3 in no particular order. Chicago's probably on there. Chicago
Yeah.
was fun. Hate to say this to piss off New York people, but it's like New York, but better. I know that's gonna trigger so many New
Yeah.
York people. It kind of had like all the cool aspects of New York. At least the central part.
Yes.
I didn't go to the scary parts,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But the town, like the downtown and the center of it was amazing. I thought it was
Yeah.
sick, and the food was awesome.
Yeah.
Except people kept trying to sell me drugs. That kind of sucked.
Oh yeah, of course. Chicago.
Chicago, Seattle for sure.
Yeah.
Seattle was fucking awesome. I had
Yeah.
such a good time.
Yeah.
Seattle as a city is so cool.
Yeah,
The
I
way it's
agree.
laid out is awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really walkable.
Again, it reminds me of Melbourne.
Great food.
Yeah.
I had awesome fucking food
Oh,
in
the-
Seattle. With the seafood I had there was
seafood
there
just
was so good.
Had king crab, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I actually, go for it.
and then third city, that's a tough one to put on.
I'd say I actually really enjoyed Austin.
Yeah, Austin
Austin's
was really fucking
I
good.
was like, because it's weird, right?
Austin,
because
Texas was awesome.
actually, like, I noticed that if I like my tier list of like American cities we went to, a lot of like the top tier ones are the ones that were easy to scoot around in. I noticed,
Oh my
I
God.
noticed a correlation of ease of ability to scoot around in with the e-scooters and my likability of that city.
Also, I've been there before, but I really like Minneapolis. I wish we got more time there.
Yeah,
I love Minneapolis is like a vibe. We went to this really cool diner.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called. Al's
breakfast.
It was so fucking good. And that vibe in that diner was so fun. Everyone was talking.
The staff there was sick.
Yeah.
Everyone was asking questions. They were like, so you really eat beans on toast in the UK? Yes, we do.
You can't get it here, though.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want it here. Don't want it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I love Minneapolis. Such a cool city.
I really
the Midwest is fun.
I really like
love
the Midwest.
The Midwest is fun.
Shame about your winters, though.
Shame about Ohio as well. Shame about Ohio.
Shame about Ohio.
Oh my god.
Ohio sucks. Ohio.
Oh, man.
And of course, it was. We had to be there on my fucking birthday.
Ohio was an IRL ghost land.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it felt like a COD zombie
It was
map.
a COD zombies map.
I felt like we were going to get points if I boarded up windows. Like there was no one in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I've been told that Columbus, Ohio was much better and it was much more lively, but Cleveland sucked.
Yeah.
Cleveland
awful.
is. Ugh.
Yeah, because I remember when we woke up for our Ohio show, and sometimes we have to stop for gas or something in midway from driving to each city. I wake up, I look out the window, and I turn to one of the staff members. I'm like, "So when are we getting to the venue?" and he points to this empty parking lot, and he was just like, "This is the venue. We are here now." And I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah. One thing we learned from this tour about America is that for some reason, everyone hates Ohio. For some reason. Even Ohio hates Ohio.
Yeah, no one likes Ohio.
We had one of the questions in our live show was like, what is the one state you don't want to be transported or isekai to? And out of 23 shows, 21 states voted Ohio as the worst state in America,
including
Ohio. And I'm like, what the fuck did you guys do to piss off America?
It was only San Francisco and Portland, and they voted at number 2.
Yeah.
So it's not much better.
Weird how the US collectively came together to hate Ohio.
Yeah, because I think everyone's minds, outside of America, it's the worst state is Florida, right? Because you just hear about it so much, and it's so sensationalized with Florida Man stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess the truth, the true villain at the end of it all,
the secret villain at the once you defeat Florida, who's the secret boss at the end? It's Ohio, baby.
After the credits roll, there's a final boss you have to fight, and that's Ohio. Yeah, so that was interesting. But after our stop in Cleveland, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Don't blame them. It's pretty bad.
I think I would have enjoyed Colorado more if I didn't fuck up when I got there.
Why? What happened?
Oh yeah. I remember this.
So throughout this entire tour, we had a lot of spare hours. It'd be an hour here, an hour there.
Yep.
And I would just play TFT. Teamfight Tactics.
Connor was addicted to TFT.
I would just play it because it was a lot of the times we would have 2 hours free and you can't really leave the venue and you can't really do anything. So I'm like, okay, I'll just play 2 games of TFT. So I was playing Teamfight Tactics. I started bronze and I finished the tour Diamond 2. I was climbing like a madman. Right? And I was playing a lot of games and I was enjoying it, whatever. And in Colorado, we got to the hotel. I had an hour and a half before I was going to go and meet up with Garnt. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll run the bathtub and I'll play a game, right?
Oh yeah.
So I go to the bathtub and because a lot of the times I'm you have to run the bath and it takes forever for it to fill.
Yeah.
So I run the bath and then I go to play this TFT game and I'm playing it. And bear in mind, I've been trying to get Diamond for a while, right? And this is my Diamond promo game, right? So if I win this, if I get top 4, I get Diamond.
What a price to pay.
Yeah.
So I'm playing this game, right? And it's going well. And I'm literally there's 5 of us left. So I need to get 4th to place. And I'm doing it. And I'm finally in the
sweating it out.
I'm in the round against me 5th and 4th. We're on 1 health bar each. So if whichever one of us wins this fight, we win.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing it, right? And I just about beat this guy. And I finish 4th and I get my fucking 10 points. And I'm fucking happy.
Popping off.
I'm like, fuck, yes. And then on the door I hear, oh, okay. And so I get up off the bed. And as I put my foot down on the carpet, I hear a squish. And it's not like a light little squish. It's a deep squish. Water envelops my foot.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. And I see, because the bed's here and the hallway goes around like this. Right. And I just see wet going all the way around, right? To the door. I'm like, what the fuck? So I run in the bathtub, I turn it off. And prior to this, I checked that the bathtub had like the drains so that it like overflow like things so it wouldn't overflow. And it had them, but clearly they weren't fucking working.
Right.
So, and then I quickly pulled the plug, realized the plug doesn't basically work. Like it doesn't unplug. You have to prop something in there to keep it up.
Right.
It's like one of those ones that's stuck in.
Yeah.
And so it won't prop up. And I'm trying everything. I'm trying to fucking empty it. Meanwhile, I'm like hearing on my door, and I'm like, fuck, okay. So I empty this bathtub, or try to, and it's emptying so slowly. And I open the door, and I just see that from my hallway, I can just see a wet patch going around. Bear in mind, this is 30 minutes of a bathtub.
Yeah.
It did this much damage.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking, fuck, I can't say I was playing League of Legends. I can't say that's the reason why this happened. So she's like, what happened? I'm like, I ran a bathtub and I fell asleep. I'm so sorry. I've been really tired. I've been traveling a lot. And she was like, oh, okay. I'm going to go and call the engineers. So I wait in this damp room. I'm like shoveling the water because the bathroom's tiled. So I'm just shoveling the water into the sink, trying to get rid of all this water in the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah.
And I managed to get rid of most of it. Again, I don't know how on earth there's this much capacity, this much volume of water that was generated in 30 minutes. It's insane.
Yeah.
And then the engineers come, and one of them's like super southern sounding. He goes, golly, this is crazy. And he goes, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm so sorry. I was like, what the heck happened here? And I was like, yeah, I fell asleep. I ran the bathtub. And he's like, all right, well, they're telling me, they're like, yeah, just go down to the front desk and tell them that you flooded your room and you need a new one.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, how much is this going to fucking cost me, bro? This is going to cost me so much fucking money. So I go down and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm the guy who flooded this room. Can I have a new room? I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries. I'm like, oh, like, no, like beratement or anything?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is a complete accident. I didn't mean to do this. She's like, oh, no, don't worry. Yesterday, somebody flushed their toilet. All the shit went to the floor below. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, it's an old building. This shit happens all the time. I'm like, what? Okay. And they seemed really chill about it. They were like, they made me feel like I did nothing. I'm like, I'm going to flood another hotel room.
Why? So you flooded your hotel room? Amateur
I'm going to load another game of League of Legends, baby.
This is awesome. And so I get the keys. I go to the new room, and I wanted to take a bath again, even though I wasn't scarred.
Yeah.
Right? I was determined, and it was like some cosmic intervention had come because there wasn't even a plug. So I couldn't even take a bath.
They purposely put you in that room to be like, this motherfucker better not do it
God
again.
was like, he ain't taking a bath, man. Bad things happen.
Bottom of my head, I was like, I wonder if this had been a problem that kept happening where like, because none of the overflow things worked, where this had flooded before, where they were like, just don't let them have baths. Am I gross?
Shower for you.
Am I gross for wanting to take a bath in a US hotel? Abso-fucking-lutely. But I just wanted to soak in it. I just wanted to relax.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I'm taking a bath. And I got one of the hand towels and I clogged it and blocked the drain so I could have a bath just enough so the water wouldn't leave. Yeah. And then when I was done, pulled it all out, had my bath successful. Should I have been deterred from plugging the bath after flooding one room? Absolutely yes.
So you didn't flood one room. You flooded 3 rooms, right?
So it was interesting because I got a message from Maylene, who obviously David must have told. So one of my managers had told, and then I kept hearing Chinese whispers versions of my own story.
Right.
And then they were like, I heard he broke the whole hotel. It was like, no. They're like, I heard he flooded 4 floors. I'm like, no.
I heard 4 people drown.
No. So what happened? What actually happened was, not that you guys ever heard an alternative story, is that I not flooded. The room next to me got really fucking wet, and the room below me got really wet. So 3 rooms in total: my room, the room next to me, and the room below me.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot.
Guys, I didn't flood 4 floors. I didn't flooded 3 rooms, guys.
3 rooms.
Get it right.
4 floors is way more dramatic. Come on. That's like the entire foundation is fucked. Right? So
I didn't cause that much property damage. Just a little bit of property damage.
Also, the room next door was available by the end of the day. They just had to blow dry the floor with this giant fucking thing. Because what happened was later, about an hour later, after this all happened, I went back to look at the scene of the crime. Because I wanted to see the damage. Right? I wanted to see how bad it was. It was all dry by an hour and a half later. Because they had this giant fucking heat thing. It was just, clearly this has happened before. They have one of these things. It was drying the carpet, and the carpet was all dry.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right. And then I was like, what's the damage? And they're like, well, if there's anything, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
And so
Have you heard back from them yet?
No.
Oh shit!
No, so I still haven't had to pay anything.
Yeah. You're just like, I'm in Japan now. I'm no longer in your jurisdiction.
Bro, I was about to fight. Like, I was about to become Better Call Saul. Be like, Your Honor, the bathtub should have drained. There was a drain and it wasn't working.
It's clearly an engineering flaw.
It's clearly a flaw on the design of this bathtub, and this was an accident waiting to happen. Okay, hold on. Yeah, go on.
No, I was about to say, the cherry on top of this entire shit cake is just the fact that this happened because you were playing fucking League.
No. I think
you can't make that shit up.
I think my favorite reaction, because I was actually like in a bar because we were, ironically enough, Worlds like 2022 was going on, and we were like, I was like, there was a game going on, and I was like, Connor, you want to come to this bar and watch some League with me? And so our tour manager was going to join us as well. And I'd heard that because the room was booked under her name, she had heard that one of her talents that she was taking care of had fell asleep in the bathtub.
So then the story kept changing. Apparently, I'd fallen asleep in the bathtub inside of the room. And I was like, what the fuck?
And so she was like panicking, be like, oh my God, Connor, you okay? You hurt? Are you like, oh, did anything happen? And she was like, yeah, I was playing League of Legends.
She goes, oh my God, what happened to you? Okay. And I texted her back. I'm like, yeah, what's up?
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, she's like, I heard you flooded the hotel room. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen 2 hours ago. Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. I was playing League of Legends.
She was like, I heard you fell asleep in the bathtub, and I texted her. I'm like, yeah, so I was actually playing League of Legends, and I lied because I didn't want to seem like I was an absolute fucking idiot. But that's what happened. So
you grabbed the dub in League of Legends and then you took an immediate L.
But they were very kind. They were very kind about it. Again, all the hotel staff was super chill about it, and I really appreciate it.
I just want to know what kind of shit happens on a daily basis in that hotel. If this is something that's like, whatever, dude, minor inconvenience.
I am sure the weirdest fucking shit goes down in hotels.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I'm sure every hotel manager has like a fucking story about some shit that's gone down in a hotel room.
Yeah, but that was fun. And then I didn't really have any other funny, insane stories other than the time that I went to the gym with Aaron and fucking died nearly. That was funny.
Oh yeah,
that was
and you threw up.
So I don't know what it is. I have exercised a fair amount. Yeah, but obviously on the tour I hadn't exercised in like 3 weeks, right? And I have this thing that I don't know when to stop. When my body is telling me to stop, I'm like, yeah, but that's just like baby shit. I'll just keep running.
Yeah.
And then I always regret it because I realize I've ran past a certain point of like no return where my body will now not feel good. And I will actually have like fucked my body up.
Right.
So we started, Aaron was like, let's go to the gym. I really want to go to the gym. And so how this all came about is the night before I was like, yeah, let's go to the gym, Aaron. But we were kind of having like a few drinks and stuff. And I woke up the next day and I didn't really want to go to the gym anymore. Yeah. And so I showered. And I came out of this room, and in the corner, Aaron was just sitting there on the couch. And he's like, so you've showered, huh? Not going to the gym anymore? And I was like, no, I'm still going. I just want to shower up for the gym. Just
wanted to freshen up before sweating.
Just wanted to freshen up a little bit, I just, sue me, all right? I was like, let's go to the gym right now. So I was like, fuck. Okay. Begrudgingly getting my stuff out of the bus to go to the gym. So we go to like the Gold's gym. And Aaron's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I normally do cardio. Then I normally do like muscle exercises. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I think he was like, all right, let's do cardio, but let's do it how I used to do it when I was prepping for Creator Clash.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're doing basically boxing cardio. And this shit, I knew it was going to be brutal. But I was like, well, I can't be a little... I mean, I did one of my first few times hanging out with Aaron. I don't want to like let him down. And obviously my cardio exercise is definitely different from this. He wanted to do like a 15-20 incline at like a 6 miles per hour pace, which isn't crazy, but it's pretty tough. Yeah. Like it's not, if you haven't done it and you haven't been practicing this type of workout, that's tough.
Yeah.
So we're running this for about, I want to say about 5 minutes, and I'm struggling. And he's like, all right, we can stop. And I'm like, fuck, okay, good. He's like, we'll do one more round after this. I'm like, okay, fuck. We'll do one more round. Fuck. So I normally do cardio, and I probably go like, I run like 3K, nothing crazy, just kind of like get the cardio, burn a few calories, kind of get the fitness just there. And then I'll go on to weights and spend more time doing that. So this is just like, I am not prepared for this. So we start doing the other one. And about halfway through this like 5-minute incline thing, I can feel my body being at the point where it's like, you got to stop or we are going to have consequences.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So I keep going. For some reason, I can keep going even when my body is begging me not to.
Right.
And I don't know why. I've always had this problem from a kid where I like whatever my internal limit is, I'm just like, no, it's fine. And I keep pushing myself. And this used
Might
to
never matter.
Yeah, this used to happen a lot in like races where in school, if we were doing like a big race for like the end of year race thing, I would do the whole race and right at the end, I would just throw up.
Yeah.
Because I would just keep going, right?
Yeah.
And this happened a few times. And I haven't done it in a few years.
Right.
And it's normally when I haven't trained enough.
Yeah.
So I go and I do it and I feel awful. And so we start doing some weights and we do a whole set of like chest. And it's fine, but I'm starting to feel a bit more rough. And I'm like, okay, please, come on. I can keep this down. I'm not going to throw up. I just felt queasy and I didn't feel good. And we started doing triceps. And I hit this wall where I was like, I don't feel good. So I'm like, Aaron, I'm going to go to the toilet real quick. And so I just sit in the toilet. You know when you sit in the toilet for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Like Shinji, like.
Yeah.
Just collecting your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying not to throw up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I think I got to the point where I don't feel great, but I think I can continue.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to continue the workout because we were like, I was having
Bonding.
fun.
Yeah.
And I was having a good time. And he's super fucking nice.
Yeah.
You know,
He's the
Aaron,
best.
if you watch this, you're such a fucking nice guy. And
He
I
is.
just thought, I just wanted to not be a weirdo.
Come on to trash taste, Aaron.
So then we go back and I do just one more like rep.
Yeah.
And then I was like, told Aaron, I'm like, Aaron, yeah, I don't feel so good. I'm going to go to the toilet real quick. And I go and I'm just like, blah, like fucking Team America on this toilet for a good 3-4 minutes. And
my God.
I'm trying to rinse my mouth. Obviously I don't have toothpaste, so my mouth feels gross. But I'm
Yeah.
like rinsing my mouth out. I'm like, oh God. And I'm like, Aaron, I feel much better now. I feel, you know, when you throw up and you feel way better, but
Yeah.
obviously your stomach still hurts from throwing up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I felt fine. Like I felt good to go. And
We got some ab training as well.
Yeah.
so we continued the workout. So normally the way I do it, and this is just a me thing. I know there's whatever way you want to do it. Normally what I'll do is I'll do cardio and then I'll do 4 sets. You know, so four different workouts, and I'll do 10 sets, 10
Yeah.
sets of 10 reps, 4 sets. Is that how it is? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I normally do it. And then, so we finished these 4, and then he's like, all right, time to do core workouts. And I'm like, oh no. I don't think he realized I threw up. I thought I made it clear that I did, but I don't think he realized.
You just like breathe in his face, being like,
No. So luckily it didn't smell too bad because I could feel, you know, in your mouth, you feel like it's stinky. It wasn't too bad, luckily. I don't know how. And so we're doing core. It was just stomach.
Right.
And so we're doing these workouts and I'm like, ah, and he's like, damn, get that burn going. I'm like, this is not the burn I wanted. Fuck.
so are you supposed to feel it from the inside?
Yeah, man. So I somehow get through this core. I'm like, I am fucked. Because I came back to you guys and I was like,
Yeah, and then Connor's dead as shit, and then I'm just like, Aaron, do you want to play Magic?
And then Aaron didn't realize I'd thrown up. And then I told the other guys, like, yeah, I just fucking threw up, feel awful.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he's like, you threw up? That's awesome. He's like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, I was talking to him. I was like, I thought he just took a shit, man. I thought he took a shit and just felt better.
It's like mid-workout. It's like, I gotta empty myself out.
At least I'm happy I got a workout done. I try my best to do some workouts. In the tour total, I only got 2 workouts done over like a month and a half.
But you
Better
know
than
what?
nothing. Better
But
than
you know
nothing.
what is impressive about that, and the entire tour for that matter, is that we all found out not too long ago. Somehow, God forbid, maybe some divine intervention came in. We all lost weight.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was.
I don't
eating
know
a
how
lot.
I thought for sure.
I call it the hamburger diet, you know.
Bro,
it's a new diet. It's like keto. Get the fuck out of here.
I ate like a whole
I ate
family
everything
pack.
on the food chart.
Yeah. I had like a family pack of Doritos every night.
Yeah.
Every night.
Oh, just because like every place we'd go to, right? I swear to God, every fucking place. So we tried to like go to as many like local chains, try all the local foods. Every like American food is either burgers or meat and cheese or fried stuff.
Yep.
There's
Pizzas,
nothing else.
hot dogs.
Pizzas, hot dogs, just like the most unhealthy food you can imagine. And at the beginning, I was like, yeah, let's do this. I'm traveling around America. Let's try all the local fucking dishes.
For sure.
By the like end of the tour, when we'd like talk to like the fans and they'd be like, "Yo, have you tried this burger joint?" I'm like, I'm getting to the point where fucking all burgers taste the same now. I'm like, please do not recommend me a burger joint right now. I will literally throw up. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I had so many hot dogs as well. I was trying to try every like local hot dog style.
Yeah.
And some of them were god tier, dude.
Yeah.
I like the Chicago, Detroit, and DC hot dogs. So good.
Yeah.
But I will say, there's a lot of overrated things. I think the most overrated thing in America is chicken and waffles. I think it's so overrated. It's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, like I had chicken and waffles a couple of times.
Yeah, we had it in North Carolina.
I had it in Mississippi as well.
Yeah, we had it in some other southern states.
I had chicken and waffle, and my body has never been more confused.
Oh, bro,
in
it
my
felt
life.
like I was dying.
It was like sensory overload.
I was just like, am I having breakfast, lunch, or dessert? I'm so like my body was
answer
just
is yes.
my body was just like, what is going? Why am I having breakfast, lunch, and dessert at the same time? This is not a taste profile. I am like. I will like it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love chicken tenders so much.
What is chicken waffles?
It's exactly
what you think
Chicken
it
on
is.
waffles.
It is
Okay.
a waffle
It's
with chicken,
fried chicken.
fried chicken
On
on top of waffles with syrup.
with syrup on
Oh
top.
my god!
yeah.
Yes.
Like
Southeast Asians discovered American food.
Take the chicken, not the waffle.
it was insane. And like, it's cool as like a novelty thing, right? Being like, this
Yeah.
is something that is like very American and whatever. And the first time I had it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually kind of bomb. It's
Yeah.
pretty good, but holy shit, I feel like I just put on like 17 pounds just
I
from
love-
this
Yeah.
meal.
I love chicken tenders so much.
Yeah.
American chicken tenders are like next level.
It is.
They're so good.
It's so good.
We had like chicken tenders at the Nashville hot chicken places. I can't remember which one it was. It was
Also,
like,
the one that like Charlie got us in Tampa as well.
yeah,
Like,
we had
so good.
Oh, bro, they're nuts, dude.
I'm about to go off, by the way. I'm about to go
Chicken
off.
tenders are so fucking good, dude. in
American,
America.
I have a message for Americans, okay?
Go on.
Because I understand now why these two think all chicken tastes the same. Why is that? Because every time you fucking eat chicken, you only eat chicken tendies. I'm like, there is more to chicken, Americans,
Bro,
than
chicken-
fucking chicken tendies.
chicken
I'm
tendies,
so fucking
bro,
tired
they're
of
so good.
chicken tendies.
They're so good.
I'm like, you guys don't seem to eat anything. Like every time we got like a
Love it.
recommendation for a chicken joint,
chicken tendies.
people are like, yo, like Raising Cane's is like so much better. And some people are like, yo, Chick-fil-A is so much better. I'm like, it's all, you're just eating
Chick-fil-A
chicken
doesn't do
tendies, man.
They don't do tendies.
It's either
Their
tendies
their
or
nuggets are good.
nuggets. I'm like, it's,
Chicken tendies are god tier, man. Actually,
Dude, Raising Cane's, shit.
I could eat chicken tendies every single day.
Oh, 100%.
Every single day. They're so fucking
100%.
good.
It just-
Honey mustard, those sauces they had, bro. Nuts, dude.
it just like annoyed me to no ends. Like every time we'd go to a chicken place, what are we having? Chicken tendies. I'm like, do you not have wings? Do you not have the thighs? Do you not have the fucking like? Do you not have the legs? It's just like there's so much to a chicken. And every time it was like they were like, yo, Raising Cane's god tier. This is so much better
It
than
is.
the other place. And I'm like, it's all the fucking same because all you're really judging is the sauce. You're not even judging the
sauce of Raising
fucking
Cane's is
chicken.
nuts.
The
Like
sauce
that's
is a-
No, the
Yeah.
chicken quality was good. It was good quality.
it's like, I think like most of the chicken places we went to, the chicken quality was kind of the same. So the only thing you were kind of judging is like the sauce, right?
The chicken quality at that local Tampa one that Charlie got us was like the
so good.
chicken itself tasted
it's
so much
moist.
better. It was like the perfect moistness. It wasn't too much batter, but there was a shitload of chicken and the sauce. Oh,
But I heard you like Hershey's chocolate. Is this true?
No.
Oh, Sydney said you love Hershey's.
When did she say that?
is love a strong word?
2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah. This is true.
That's a lie.
Oh, that's the slander right there.
I was just like, when did I ever say that?
I was like, Garnt has some awful shit takes, but that'd be up there.
I think I understand why though. Fundamentally, why Garnt was so sick of chicken tendies because he doesn't eat sauce.
I do try the sauce.
So
but,
he only has the chicken
tendies
to
without
judge.
The sauce is like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Don't
like-
even bother.
But there's so much to chicken. Here's the thing why I don't like chicken tendies, okay? Or no, it's not like I don't like it, but like I would prefer to have other types of chicken because you remove like one of the best part of the chicken in my mind, which is the skin. Because you just like you get rid of the skin.
No.
And there's
crispiness, dude. The crispiness.
The crispy batter is where it's at, bro.
Oh no! Fuck! Like the batter is good.
After this,
The batter is good, but the batter with like the skin cooked well. That's why you know when you go to KFC and you have like anything but chicken tendies, the best part is the fucking skin.
I will say, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, and like there is when we had chicken and waffles and you guys ordered chicken breast with your waffles, that like triggered me to no end.
I did that to trigger you on purpose.
There was like a list of like the only time where these boys had a choice of which part of the chicken they would prefer to have with their meal. They could have ordered breast, they could have ordered wings, they could have ordered thighs, and they ordered like 2 breasts.
Yeah,
two pieces of breast.
To be fair, I chose a breast and a thigh, and I will say the thigh was definitely better in that instance. Chicken tendies is on another level.
I like how clean breast tastes
Yeah.
compared to thigh.
There, the cut is clean.
Out of context clip. Fuck, there was something else. I just forgot. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking sauce. Thinking about the sauces. Shit, I had it. I forgot.
Something about chicken tendies.
Something about chicken.
You know what I think America unequivocally does better than anywhere else?
What?
Chicken wings. Straight up. Chicken wings are like ginormous in the US.
they're roided
I don't know
up.
how the fuck they get... clearly something is going wrong. The chicken wings are like that in the US. But I'm not complaining because they're huge. Yeah. They're fucking huge.
Those chickens are on that...
You get so much meat on the chicken wing. It's insane.
They're on that Creator Clash diet too.
It's insane.
I disagree.
Oh my God.
Where do you think does chicken wings better than the US?
Korea.
No,
Yes,
they're
yes.
tiny. They're like flimsy little things.
It's not about like the amount of meat. To me,
Wouldn't that just be the sauce though?
Yeah, you're just
Sorry?
Wouldn't that just be the sauce?
No. It's not the sauce, right? It's like
the yum yum chicken.
It's like, you know, it can be a mixture between like the meat to skin ratio, the meat to like
when I order
the batter ratio. You know, I feel like the chicken wings in America, there's like too much meat that it fucks up with the ratio of like the marinade, right? I
love Korean fried wings so much, but goddamn, do those American wings go hard? Like they go so much harder.
I'd say like what I think America does better than anywhere else in the world is barbecue. I was like, I will give American barbecue as the best barbecue in the world. I think America does the best barbecue.
I mean, I really want to try like Caribbean barbecue and that kind of area.
Yeah,
because I know that they have.
Well, you and I had
barbecue.
like that the Cuban barbecue. Well, it wasn't really barbecue, but it was like kind of barbecue-esque Cuban food in Orlando. Do you remember that? It was like the Cuban restaurant we went to in Miami that was just like nothing but meat. And
that's pretty good.
That place was pretty crazy. I wouldn't say it's barbecue, but it's like barbecue-esque in terms of like what's there.
No, bro. South Korea has good wings. They have the. I'm sure North Korea has good wings too. I don't know if they have any. There's definitely no meat on those bones though. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. But
what are you talking about?
Don't get me wrong.
You've been in America for too long. You're like more better.
Yeah,
more food equals better.
Don't get me wrong.
I order from. Obviously it's in Japan, but a lot of these a lot of them are like Korean chains that are in Japan. And I ordered a bunch, and dude, they're just too flimsy, bro. There's no meat on the bone. It's just all skin.
I think the one thing I like about a lot of like American chicken wing is that like a lot of the places, at least the ones we went to,
and it's not fried chicken.
It's not fried chicken for starters, but like the sauce is like separate to the wing, right? So you can like dip as much or as little sauce as you want. Whereas the yum yum chicken ranch, but like the yum yum chicken,
doesn't
for
like
example,
sauce.
For example, in South Korea.
It depends on the sauce. I do not like ranch.
Okay.
This is not I don't like ranch, okay? I don't like ranch.
Garnt. You're a clown.
I don't like ranch. That's why I don't belong in America.
You married a Midwestern girl. How can you not like ranch?
Is it even possible to not like ranch?
But I'm just like, is there more sauce than just ranch? Because I'm like,
you don't need anything
they don't
else.
need to be.
I'm not saying there's so much more variety in like other countries. It's not just all about one fucking sauce.
Okay, let's go through it all then. Honey mustard, yeah or no?
Yes. I like honey mustard.
Okay.
Yes.
What else? What other condiments can you eat with a chicken wing?
What other condiments can you eat with a chicken wing?
You don't like barbecue?
I actually do. I mean, I literally just said American barbecue. I think barbecue works better with like beef and pork rather than chicken. Like I said, I prefer like there's a lot of like Thai chicken wings as well with like it's a very sour, spicy sauce.
Right.
I like the Korean chicken wings as well with like a little bit of sweet. I like spicy stuff. Okay?
Buffalo sauce?
I do love buffalo sauce.
Buffalo wings are the goat.
That's the best
I
wings
just
in
don't
America.
want them to drench it too much.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about buffalo sauce. Is like when it's
Sometimes
drenched,
they
it's just too much.
They go too hard.
But I don't get it because you drench it in the sauce and you
No, no,
drench
no,
it in
no.
the ranch
Yeah,
anyway.
no, no,
What's
yeah,
the
'cause-
difference?
No,
the
the
ranch-
ranch you need to drench it.
Because ranch is great.
Because ranch is amazing. I could drink ranch.
It's so good because
buffalo sauce?
you can eat the buffalo sauce and then you want to mix it up. You're like, dip it in some ranch.
Yeah,
Give it a
you
different
can do
flavor.
buffalo and ranch mixture. Bomb.
I'm like, so what I'm understanding here, what I'm understanding is that you guys just really fucking like ranch.
No, but the wings are amazing. The wings, even without the ranch, are way better than anything
Yeah,
that you get like here.
because I'm actually eating meat.
Yeah.
Whereas like in
I disagree.
whereas in like
you disagree? It's meat.
No, I said, I think there is like, what was like the biggest wings you got in America? Because I'm thinking about the wings I get in the fucking Midwest, and in the Midwest they are fucking obese. Like
Yeah, they're huge.
they're
these
great.
wings,
Yeah, they're huge.
These wings
I love
are
that.
massive.
Yeah,
That's why it's good.
And
They're
I'm
great.
like, there is like to me like. Well, you guys eat chicken breasts, right? So I'm just kind of realizing you fucking love the white meat. You fucking love
White meat
that
is
shit.
fucking good.
That's what I love chicken.
I like a mixture between like, you know, the skin as well. I like a mixture between having the marinade on it. It's not always about fried. Sometimes you grill it as well.
That's why
And,
I
like,
love like the massive chicken wings though, because there's so much meat on one chicken wing. With one chicken wing, you can like mix and match the sauces around, being like, all right, first bite, I'm gonna put some ranch on it. Second bite,
when they dry rub it as well before,
Dry rubs?
and it's just so good, dude.
Shit.
because okay, do you dip your chicken wings in the sauce?
Sometimes, not every time.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because to me, chicken wings are like, you know, chicken you dip in
pre-marinated.
pre-marinated.
Yeah.
Chicken you dip in the sauce is fucking chicken tendies. It's nugs, right?
No,
because
what
there's no
the fuck?
bones.
No.
There's no bones, right? The reason I like bone
No,
chicken.
the one with the bone.
Yeah, the one
no,
with
no.
the bone.
Like the drumsticks,
I
you
just
can put
dumped
it,
it
you
in.
dip it in the sauce.
Oh, you're talking about drumsticks. I thought you were talking about wings.
You can do wings as well.
You can do
in the
wings
sauce.
as well.
Yeah, but like
Like
that's,
if you can't get it in the container, then you get the container, you like pour it on top,
Or
and
you
then
just,
you
like,
fucking
yeah.
bite into it.
that's just like
That's good shit.
That's that. I thought that was like the one advantage of having boneless chicken, which is that you can just. It's just.
Yeah,
a
why
much
do you
more-
think we love boneless
Yeah,
chicken?
yeah, I love that too.
Because of the convenience.
I can eat everything.
But if the wing is there, then I'm going to be like, well, if there's only wings here, then I'm obviously going to eat it because I like wings as well. But it's a little bit inconvenient for me to have to grab the sauce and pour it on top.
That's it. And I'm just like the fucking advantage of wings is that normally it's
Whereas
like
the tendies, I can just get straight into that shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Good
perfectly
shit.
shaped to fit the container.
So
like
fucking
normally
good.
the advantage of wings is that it just tastes good by itself. It's already marinated or it's already got sauce
Yeah, but
on it.
I like
you don't
it-
have to dip it in
Yeah,
the sauce.
I like it sometimes with and without. It's just a different flavor. You want to mix it up.
Yeah, you want to mix it up.
It's clown take, Garnt.
What I'm like discovering right now is that these two just they don't care about the taste of the chicken. It's all about the taste of the sauce. You know, that's
What do you mean? No one eats chicken wings with no sauce or dry rub or anything.
Yeah,
on
that's psychotic.
Oh, you there's dry rubs.
it. Yeah, and there's something
yeah.
like no, you don't
And you
always.
don't literally the fucking wings we had in the office from
Yeah.
like that mail-in cook, they were dry rubs.
No, I know. I like that.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are good.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm
Yeah.
saying sometimes you want to put more sauce on it.
Yeah.
Why is this so hard to comprehend?
Sometimes I like the option of wanting to
Additional
pick and
sauce.
choose if I want extra sauce or not. Sometimes, I'm in the mood where I'm like, I don't need the extra sauce because it
Yeah.
already tastes good enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want a little more.
Yeah.
But like what I'm trying to say is what I think good wings are, what I think good chicken is that it should taste good, by itself. If you are putting too much sauce in it, then you're not really judging the chicken, you're judging the sauce, which is like my biggest pet peeve with a lot of like chicken places.
Well,
in
no,
America.
because
we're
if
not
the
disagreeing.
chicken, because
Yeah.
if the chicken wing sucks, no amount of sauce is going to save it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat it.
I think we like the taste of the chicken. We just like it to also
Yeah.
then be enhanced.
Yeah, I already like the taste of the chicken, but with the sauce, it's like an added bonus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the chicken wing sucks, no amount of ranch is going to save that shit.
I don't know, man. With the amount of ranch I see Americans put on their chicken wings, it just seems like putting a shit ton of ranch is not a choice. It's the default. And that's one thing.
And you know what? I'm glad.
That's what I saw.
Americans.
That's what I saw.
Ranch.
It's not even about how good the wings are. It's about how much sauce you put on it. And I'm just
There were
like,
multiple times throughout the tour where all I had to say was ranch, and I got an entire crowd chanting.
Everyone loves ranch.
Everyone loves ranch.
It's
in
fucking
America.
awesome.
It's great.
I don't like ranch.
Well, luckily you're not everybody, Garnt.
Thankfully, you're the minority.
Question is, boys, was the tour a success?
Oh, massive success. I mean, a better question rather is, would we do it again?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, in Europe and Southeast Asia would want a tour, and they were very vocal about how annoyed they were that they didn't get it. And they were like, I don't care about the tour. I don't want to see anything about it.
The amount of Europe tour win.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia tour win.
We're definitely considering stuff like that because the first one went so well.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I think I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler, but we recorded some of the shows and we're going to put some of them on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But I think even after that, one thing I liked about the tour was that we got to learn about each place we went to, and there's so many more places and so many more shows I want to do in different places to like learn about what goes on in that place, the culture of that place.
Yeah.
And I think if we were to do another tour, we probably would not do exactly the same format or exactly the same show, but we would probably take aspects of this show and try to do it, in a more worldwide, more places worldwide.
I think one thing as well that, again, was a great thing to come out of doing this tour is the fact that we've learned so much about how to put on a performance in a stage setting, which I think is really valuable. And, I personally learned a lot of skills doing shows on stage that, I can utilize on Trash Taste recordings or just regular videos and stuff like that. Right. And it's like, it's just like a cool, and also, it's just a cool thing to be like, I went around America doing shows and shit like that on stage. And it was pretty dope. It's just like a cool story and experience. And, from the amount of stories we've already told just from this episode, it's like invaluable.
Yeah, I will say if we do a show again, we'll probably do less shows.
Yeah. 23 was too much.
23 was too much. I got back and I haven't streamed, haven't even tweeted because I was just like, I need a period in my life where I just don't have an audience watching me. I was like, I just don't need an audience right now. And I was just chilling out, just doing nothing. And that's because 23 shows is way too much. Also, I think I was the only one that actually got ill on the tour as well.
I got sick twice.
Oh, okay.
I got sick once right before we started, and I was like, "Oh no, please!" And
That was good.
Yeah, again towards the end.
Yeah,
Which
it's
sucked.
I think I had to perform the last few shows with a pretty bad fever, which was difficult. But hopefully, I got told that no one really noticed it.
No, you hit it very well.
Yeah, but that's because I was literally in I was literally in sage mode the entire day. I didn't see any of these boys. I was just by myself on the bus, conserving energy for this 2-hour show because I was dying in bed.
He was in monk mode.
Yeah. I was
Netero.
I was gathering energy. I was like, you can do this, Garnt. You can do this. So 23 shows is a lot. Probably to do less shows, but I would definitely want to do more shows around the world. Yeah.
Hell yeah, for sure. So
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was just too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the past last week and a half, 2 weeks, I was kind of all right, I'm ready to go home now.
Yeah.
Ready to go back to Japan.
Yeah.
I miss Japan.
Yeah. I think I'm just glad that because again, this was our first tour, right? So I think we all three of us weren't really too sure if we were going to
Bro, I did not know what to expect.
actually experience it. Nothing, just we'd heard from other people about how tours went, but it's not every tour is the same kind of thing, right? So, I was just hoping, I'm please, I just want to come out of this tour liking what I went through.
Yeah.
And luckily I did. So
Yeah, I think it was awesome. It's I think a lot of YouTubers and streamers, whatever, they often get in the trap of never leaving their house and you're just making stuff in your home. And I feel like you miss out on a lot of really cool life experiences that could enhance maybe even your content or how you view the world.
Oh, for sure.
And allow you to learn and expand your horizons. I think traveling is one of the best ways to just kind of open your mindset a bit and learn from other cultures.
Yeah.
And so I think it's if you get the opportunity to do it, you should always do it.
Absolutely.
I genuinely learned a lot about America this trip.
Yeah, I did. I feel like I know a lot more intricacies of the US now.
Yeah.
And how states view each
Definitely.
other and how they interact and how states
Definitely.
what they're proud about, what they love talking about.
Yeah.
And I think I speak for all of us when I say this, that we're really grateful to everyone who took a gamble on us, essentially, because we didn't we'd never toured before. There was absolutely no reason that this was going to be good. There was nothing to tell you that it was going to be a good show.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time. Like we're driving, 4 or 5 hours to come to these shows, and we're buying hotels and buying a lot of tickets, and just at the opportunity to see us and maybe hopefully have a good show. And they had no idea if it was going to be good. Yeah. And I hope that we think that everyone who came, that we made you proud and that you enjoyed the shows.
Yeah.
And we really, really appreciate the support.
Yeah.
I think it just kept blowing me away every time. Everyone was like, "Man, I traveled 5 hours to get here tonight just for this," and it's like, God damn, dude, that's crazy.
Fuck,
Thank you.
I would not travel 5 hours to see
I would
me.
not. I would not travel 5 hours for me.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, all we wanted to do was put a good show for you guys.
Yeah.
And that was the only worry that we had. And we did our best, and we saw how well it was received from you guys, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely some shows where I'm like, I'm just too tired. But then you get to the Q&A and you see how excited everyone was. You're like, all right, well, I got to put on the fucking good show.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to let these people down.
Got to do it for these beautiful boys already.
Yeah, I know. Like
everyone was so
every
nice.
time I saw that crowd, I was like, I just don't want to disappoint. I just don't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
And no matter how ill I was or whatever, I'm just like, I figured out that if, when I see people and I see like the dedication and just like how you guys were just so excited, I was just, something awoke, and I was just like, I just really, really want to make this a good show.
Yeah,
I hope we delivered.
Yeah, I hope everyone who came to the show had a great time, and it was worth your money and time.
Yeah.
And maybe another tour soon. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out though.
If we do, it won't be America again.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not right away.
Yeah.
Europeans and Southeast Asians are like,
Yeah.
finally,
my time.
My time is here.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do the show again and find out more about Europe and Southeast
100%.
Asia.
Yeah. But yeah,
guess for that
hey,
was-
look at all these fucking patrons though. They're
it's
also
been a
supporting
while.
us.
Hell yeah.
It's been a while since I've said this. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But hey, if you want to support us on Patreon, then do so by going to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And thank you for your guys' continued support. You've been awesome.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really.
And we'll see you guys next week.
It was actually awesome seeing your faces.
Yeah, finally. We did
you may hate our faces, but we saw yours.
Exactly. All right, guys.
All
Have a
right,
good
see
one.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.